And we're back. And now we're back. I like how Google Plus says, "Hey, you're going live," and then it dings again, and then it dings a third time. So usually I get caught right in the middle of so it sounds like this. And then I went outside. No. Anyway, we're back for, I believe this is episode 2 of the Eternal cast of the longevity of it's the Rogue Show. You know it. All these people. I always point over here where I can see them, but I think actually when you watch, we're over here because it's backwards.
Word.
Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in. Currently at the moment there are 0 viewers, so shame on you for not showing up. You'll start filtering in, or people are probably outside putting their pools together, or enjoying the sunshine, or enjoying the darkness that may be outside right now. But anyway, we're back for the Rogue Show, and of course we'll start here at my left, your right. We have off frame Mr. Chapman Films. You can see his microphone. There he is. We have ODC, that's me.
Hello.
There he is. Automatica herself.
Hello.
And Stu Murray, 47.
Hey guys.
All right, it's been a busy almost month since the last time we've been on. I think a lot of us have our little note sheets or just things we kind of want to talk about. So I'll just kind of open it up. Is there anything that's just been on the tip of your tongue you've been dying to talk about? We could start anywhere from Mattel getting the license again, comments on YouTube and just general posting, our geek side. Let's start with the geek side. I mentioned this in our little chat room. I think Olivia and I talked about it for a little bit. Being a superhero fan or Chapman Films, that's killing me. Here we go. This is awesome. That is great.
That was awesome.
We
okay,
lost the...
now the show has actually really begun. Great. But something I've often thought about, maybe for all of us to kind of discuss, do you take your geekdom outside of your 4 walls? Do you have friends that know, hey, you know, Rob's the guy that likes Robin, or do you like wear superhero apparel out in public? Do you talk about it with coworkers, or do you kind of keep it into the confines of your YouTube? Well, there's Anthony right there. Yep, here's mine. But and there's Spider-Man. Wait, we're all kind of wearing something here, so.
Yeah, I know. I'm letting the side down.
Yeah, but Stu, you just got off of work, so I don't wear my best clothes to work. By best clothes, I mean this. So I will just kind of open it up. Olivia, well, she's finishing here. We'll bypass her. I caught people right at a time to eat. So, Stu, what do you think about that? How do you handle your superhero-ness, or just your geekdom for that matter?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, very few people I know that I do the YouTube channel. Obviously, my wife knows, definitely knows. My dad and my brother and stuff, and I have like 1 or 2 friends that are aware, but nobody else knows that I have a YouTube channel at all. I don't broadcast at work, and I'm not embarrassed or anything. It's never really come up. You know, how do you segue that into a conversation? But yeah, I wear Superman stuff all the time. I don't wear like everything Superman all the time, but I think I'm known as the Superman guy at work. I wear the Superman hoodie and stuff, but I'm not embarrassed. It's just never really come up, you know.
What do you see?
Oh yeah, I do what I want. I wear them out, like whether it's like just going out for shopping, or if I'm going out to a bar, or it doesn't matter, anything. A friend's house, I'll wear them wherever. As far as my YouTube channel, I'll tell people. I tell people about it all the time.
Cool. Chapman. He's uninterested.
Who? If it's my turn, I was listening. If it's my turn, I wear at work. I have to wear a suit and tie every day, but I always wear my Man of Steel Superman shirt underneath my suit and tie. Makes me feel more powerful throughout the day.
Do you ever have to rip it open at work?
I went to church because I was at church, and there's some youth kids there, and I was like, hey, you want to see something cool? And they were like 7 or 8, and I just, blah, and they're like, oh! It was pretty cool. But yeah, but I think some of my people at work know I have a YouTube channel. But they try to talk to me about superheroes, but they're nowhere at the same level as you guys. So I try to avoid that conversation. Did you know Superman was Clark Kent? Yeah.
That's exactly what I get. That's why I don't mention it to coworkers, because they, as you said, they're not. It's the most basic knowledge ever. Like, do you hear this new Superman movie out? I was like, that was last year. Oh yeah, it's that thing with the guy in the red suit. It's made out of metal. Yeah, that's Iron Man. Forget it.
Yeah. Same here. I just get. I'm almost like a superhero snob. That's what I am. I don't want to talk about it. So if you're my friends on YouTube, we'll talk about it. But I don't want to talk about it at work because they're not at the same level. So that's kind of bad. By the way.
Yeah, I was training somebody at work, and I think I had my keychain on it. That's I think it was a Comic-Con lanyard that Jim Lee drew. It has Batman and Robin on one side, Joker and Harley on the other. And I just threw my keys up on my lunch pail, and somebody said, "Oh, the Christopher Nolan Batman movies are my favorite. You know, I love Christian Bale." And I was like, "Oh, did you see about Ben Affleck being Batman?" They're like, "What?" And I said, it's a part of the Superman Man of Steel line of movies. There's a Superman movie, so then I was like, okay, yeah, we'll stop that right there.
You're fired.
Well, then they changed Batmans. That's like, well, yeah, it's kind of like I kind of went through Michael Keaton. It's like Michael Keaton was Batman. I was like, oh my gosh, we gotta get back to work.
They're like, wait a minute, Adam West isn't Batman anymore?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Crazy.
So, at least for me, I do have family. Robin, all this Robin stuff here started because the name being Rob. So once I found an interest in Batman and Robin, I would get family. They would give me pins, hats, shirts, and little things like that. But as far as sometimes I'm selective, like where I'm going. If I go pick Ellen up for lunch at noon, she works in a insurance agency, so I'll come in with my Robin hat or shirt on. Sometimes I kind of feel self-conscious, like, am I wearing the right type of outfit for the venue that I'm at? But if it's like in general public, I don't care what I wear. But sometimes, I'll wear my hats or whatever and think, what are people thinking? Looking at me, it's. Sometimes we'll be sitting at work, people be rattling off baseball statistics and football stuff, and it's not like I go, well, in Detective Comics 314, you only have those certain people you can have those conversations with. So I don't know. I just kind of wondered what everybody's thought was about that.
I feel like it's becoming more and more common, especially with the exposure from the movies within the last 10 years. It's become a lot more common, and I think people have accepted comics a little bit more than they used to about, I don't know, over 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah, and I'm sure high schools are totally different than when I was younger. You had the geeks and stuff. I'm sure the geeks outnumber everyone else like 10 to 1.
Oh, yeah.
A geek chic, it's really cool to be a geek nowadays. And you go outside and everyone's wearing like a Batman shirt or a Superman shirt. You never used to see that when I was younger, very rarely.
You can also...
It's in every store, too.
Yeah. You can also thank the Big Bang Theory, that TV show, because those guys were cool, and everyone loves those guys. And it's on all the time now, so... Do
you ever imagine which one of those you are? Somebody asked me that the other day. Was it my wife? I forget. It was talking about which one of the Big Bang cast you thought you were closer to. Nobody admits Raj. Nobody wants to be Raj.
I will admit
Who wants to be a metrosexual? I mean, come on.
Yeah. I suppose they've all got their positives and negatives. But like Raj, I always feel sorry for Raj. Poor Raj. I must admit though, the good thing about being like the Superman guy is that I find that it's really easy to buy a gift for me. Like at work, they had like they do like Secret Santa and stuff like that. All they ever do is get me something Superman. They don't know about the channel, but they, like I got a Superman onesie last year for Secret Santa, like a one-piece. I've not worn it. I should have worn it tonight. That would have been great.
awesome.
Go put it on.
We'll wait.
No, you're fine. I wouldn't traumatize you like that. They shot at me in a onesie.
That should just be the header for your YouTube channel.
Oh my god. Watch the
She
subscribers
get a
drop.
Superman snuggie.
There you go.
Yeah.
We kind of skipped over Olivia. We're just gonna skip you over. Your thoughts?
Yeah, pretty much. I wear like my
like I'd wear this anywhere. I don't really care. As far as like work and stuff goes, like I actually have a couple people I guess at work that I can talk to about, you know, more I guess the movies and stuff. Like when Ben Affleck was cast, like I came into work like did it happen while I was at work? I don't know, but a bunch of people all of a sudden were just like, can you believe this? Like I hate Ben Affleck, this, that, and the other thing, and I was like, I'm gonna give him a chance. And but yeah, and then and it's funny because I actually have like my YouTube channel. Some people know I have, and like some of my closest friends know, and nobody really watches it or anything. But like my closest friend, she'll now go out and like if she sees like action figures or like a new toy store or something, and she'll always be like, hey, do you know about this toy store? Or like, would this work for your figure? Like a little, like if she comes up with like props or something, she'll be like, hey, does this work with your figures? And I'm like, you're the best.
Cool.
So yeah, but I definitely think it's becoming more acceptable to be a geek or whatever. And like I've actually never watched The Big Bang Theory. But yeah, so I don't know who I would be, but
I would be Howard. I would like to think I'd be Leonard. So I could safely say I'm not Raj, but I'd probably draw on that line of like, I could see myself, I think I'm cool, secretly I'm probably not. But
well, don't you think, talking about Big Bang, I was trying to think of my funniest episode. Obviously I've seen them all loads of times, but my favourite one was the one where they're sitting playing like Warcraft. And, you know, they're all sitting there like, we're preparing to go in. And, you know, they're preparing, it's like Leroy Jenkins kind of thing. And it's the bit where he goes like, tonight I spice my meat with goblin blood. I was pissing myself for laughing for like a week for that. It was so funny.
I like the one where they got the makeout machine. And Howard and Raj are like, here, try it. And, they're like making out with each other through the machine. You guys see that one?
yeah.
Oh, funny.
Or even the one with Brent Spiner, you know, the one with Will Wheaton and Brent Spiner, and he opens the action figure and stuff.
Oh, yeah!
and later on he goes,
nose.
yeah, and he opens it. It was like mint on card, and he took it out, and he just, oh, these are great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I love Big Bang. It's so great. It's because there's so many, and admit it, how many times when they go to that comic shop are you in the background like, oh, I've got that statue. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah,
But-
definitely.
They're always looking through the back issues. They're never going into the new comics. How many back issues are they always looking at?
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yes. They must be anti New 52 and anti Marvel now.
Yeah.
They don't really talk about Marvel that much. Like,
Yeah.
there's a couple references for like Wolverine here and there, but that's
Show's made by Warner Brothers, though. That's why.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's always Batman and Superman, Green Lantern.
They had the episode where Howard took Sheldon's parking space.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's a
Sheldon
good
took
one.
the Iron Man helmet. That was kind of funny. So then Sheldon moves his desk out into his parking space.
Yeah.
I just remember Ellen going, "Yeah, that would be me. I would do that to prove my point. I would move my workstation out to my parking space."
you know when that episode where Sheldon's so angry, you know, he turns into the Flash and runs all the way across to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll be right back.
and, you know, I must admit, the first time I saw that, I thought that looked so cool. That would make a great TV show. The effect looked brilliant. The suit was crap, but if the Flash TV show looks anything like that, I'll be so happy.
Well, since you opened the door, I'm trying to remember from the last time we had the Rogue Show. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ben Affleck was cast, or not cast. Duh, he was cast as Batman. We saw the Batman costume. Is that correct?
Yeah, we didn't know the title, but the title's
Okay,
been
the title,
announced
right.
since then.
And I think we probably talked a little bit about the Flash TV show, but I don't think that we saw the full trailer from the last episode.
No.
So what do you guys think about? Has everybody seen the full 5-minute trailer for the Flash show yet?
I haven't seen the 5-minute one. I saw the one with him and Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the 5-minute one's brilliant. There's some great stuff in there. Professor Zoom, I thought was a great touch. Just you saw a flash of him for a second. It was great.
And I thought it was cool. I started recently watching the original Flash TV series, and what's his name? Jason, the guy that originally played the Flash. I'm blanking on his name.
He's playing Barry's father.
Yes.
not-
That he's going to play Flash's dad. So, which I think is really kind of cool to kind of maybe not tie him together, but for people that remember growing up the adventures of Lois and Clark and watching the Flash TV show kind of at the same time.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to kind of, at least bridge them a little bit. So I think that's pretty cool. But I think it looks really neat, and I like with the Flash TV show that the Arrow's taking itself more like Nolan-esque, serious, I guess, where the Flash has no choice but to take itself and expand itself into more super-powered realms.
Yeah.
I kind of hope that dips into the Arrow as well. So.
Well,
I hope there's a lot more comedy with the Flash series than I don't want it to be like I don't want it to be like Arrow. I want it to be a lot more uplifting, a little bit more lighter, not so dark. Because Flash is a little bit of he's a lot of a lighter character. There should be a lot of comedy in that series.
I think that the trailer definitely showed some really funny moments, like with his costume and stuff. One thing I'm going to call, now obviously it's not a spoiler because I've not seen it, nobody's seen anything, I'm going to call this. Now, he's got like a team that works with him from Star Labs, there's a guy in a wheelchair and a load of people. I'm betting the guy in the wheelchair is Professor Zoom. I'm just putting it out there. I watched an interview and he said that Star Labs are, they're going to be investigating his powers, and he goes, but maybe that's not all the story. And I was like, and I don't know, just because he's in a wheelchair, I get the impression, you know what I mean? Like, he's in a wheelchair, but he can really run fast and stuff. I don't know.
Nice.
But anyway,
maybe he wheels really fast.
Yeah. Sure, wheels. But Weather Wizard as well. I like the Weather Wizard's kind of like the big bad guy for the pilot. That's a good kind of touch. It just looks really good, to be honest. I can't wait to see it. In the 5-minute trailer, Arrow turns up as well. They have this good little sort of discussion on the roof, and at the end, Arrow does a very Batman. He fires the grappling hook and swings away, and Flash is like, cool.
And I like Arrow's comment to Barry, where he says, basically turns the line back to Barry, saying, if you're going to go out in public, you got to think about wearing a mask, which is kind of what Barry said to him when he was wearing the green eye makeup, which I always hated.
I didn't like it either.
On Arrow, so I'm glad that it was Barry that did
it. It's one of those. What was that? Oh, it's one of those things that you said. I thought, what was that noise? It's one of those cassettes when you watch a Superman movie and stuff, or a superhero movie, sorry. Like, they've got the black eye makeup and they take their mask off and it's just magically gone. You're just meant to assume that the mask is meant to go all the way to their eyelids magically. But that Arrow thing, it would have taken them 5 minutes with like a squeegee to get rid of all that eye makeup before they came out and stuff. So I like the mask idea. It's much better. I must admit, I've still seen barely any of Arrow. I've seen like 4 episodes. I really need to get back into it, especially with Flash.
How would you guys feel if they did I was thinking about this the other day, and how would you guys feel if they okay, because you know how they're not using certain characters and they're only using them in movies, and then you have your TV shows that they're using characters. Obviously there's going to be a Flash in the Justice League, but what if they did Wally West Flash in the movie Justice League, and they just did Barry Allen for the TV show, and then you had a separate Justice League on your TV series, formulating, and then they did a movie Justice League, 2 different Justice Leagues with no Batman and no Superman, obviously. You could do Justice League of America then. You could do something like that.
The good thing about that is you're never going to get that thing where it's that Flash is better than that Flash, because they're 2 totally different characters. That would be good.
If they're not going to make the movie and TV universes the same, that would be the smartest thing to do, I think, because then it would be a little less confusing too for audiences that are not as involved.
Yeah.
We all know that WB always does the smart thing.
Oh yeah.
Right? Did you guys see that leaked schedule?
Yes. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was funny. I posted that on the chat the other day, and you guys didn't even mention it. You were just all about the soccer. I was like, oh my god, they posted the new movie schedule for the next 5 years, and it was like, oh my god, goal.
Yeah, and what's funny, the guy in his own country that should be worshiping soccer is talking about superheroes?
Oh, I hate football.
And we in the U.S. are talking about football? What?
No, I mean, I don't watch football. I've never played it. I just find it really boring. I know that's oh my god, but I don't know.
Oh, the king and queen are coming for you, dude. King and queen.
We don't have a king. What are you talking about?
Well, they just elected one. They're coming.
England plays today. They play later on today.
Yeah, the 6 o'clock game? Or...
Yep.
I won't be watching.
I think it's Italy and England.
You're burning your own flag, dude. Burning your own.
Hey, I'm not from England.
You're burning their flag.
You're burning their flag. Burn, baby, burn!
Okay, the schedule for movies. Looks like we're going to get a crap ton of movies if everything holds true. Out of all of the list, excluding Batman vs. Superman and the Justice League, of the other movies, what's top on your list that you really want to see?
Shazam.
Justice League.
Yes. Go ahead.
I'm going to go Wonder Woman.
I just want to be different.
They do it just like the animated movie.
Oh yeah, I love that movie. That would be, if they did it really, really well, like not 300, but obviously not like that risque, but just really, really own it. Just own that there's going to be like minotaurs and stuff, and it's just really going to be like a Themyscira based, Ares, and that would be.
But isn't Wonder Woman not from Themyscira now or something?
Yeah.
Isn't she in Batman vs Superman? Isn't she like I thought there was something about her being from Krypton or like related to something.
That hasn't been like confirmed or anything. I think that was just like some rumor that was occurring. I haven't heard anything since about that. There's been, I mean, for all we know, like I've seen pictures of her while she's on set and she's wearing like a dress. So they might be doing the whole like Princess Diana from a different country thing.
Yeah, or even just remember, she used to be like a secretary in the TV show back in the day, like she was undercover.
Yeah.
Like that. What was her? Diana Prince? Is that her name? Diana Prince.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think she'd probably be more likely to be undercover. But talking about movies, though, do you not think the strangest pair up is Flash, Green Lantern? I just thought it was an odd pairing. Because it means it's definitely going to have to be Earth-based. Because I can't imagine Wally or Barry being like on another planet.
They should have just done a Green Arrow and Green Lantern team up like they used to. But
yeah,
they should. You know what they should do, since they're doing like, if they're gonna do like a Flash and Green Lantern team up, they should just do. And they're doing a Batman and Superman team up. They should just do team ups. It would shorten things. It would make things a lot easier. Especially if you're trying to get into a Justice League movie, they should just do like Shazam and Wonder Woman movie, or because you could do that with those two. Totally do that.
Yeah.
And it would save you time that way, and it's something different that Marvel's not done yet. So.
Do you not think? I totally agree with the Wonder Woman. If they did the animated movie, it'd be great. Do you not think if they did that Green Lantern movie, the First Flight one where he was with Sinestro, and it was kind of like Sinestro training him up, and then that would have been a great movie. I love that movie. And plus,
Sinestro is a potential villain.
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to call it. There's no way it's going to be Hal Jordan. I guarantee it's going to be either Kyle Rayner or it's going to be John Stewart. I've got a feeling that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Only if he has the '90s look.
Which one, Kyle or?
Oh, with the gauntlets and the stripe going down.
That big, massive, blocky mask.
Oh yeah, love that mask.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think they're going to try and distance themselves from the Ryan Reynolds one by just making it, like the Flash, as you said, making it a totally different character. But yeah, Shazam, I mean, it's going to be so tricky, because how does that work? I know that when they actually do the packaging, they have to call him Shazam, but they always call him Captain Marvel in the pages of the comic. So how does that work? Are they allowed to call him that in the comic, but not on the cover, or not allowed to call him that at all? I don't know. I've not read any of his issues.
They switched it, I think, because they let Marvel win. Even though Shazam or Captain Marvel was before Captain Marvel, they kind of like let Marvel have that because there was a confusion going on for like new readers or whatever. So they switched it to Shazam when the New 52 happened, I think.
Right. Yeah. And they call him Shazam in the comics, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's never called Captain Marvel at all?
No, not in the New 52.
No.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And I have a superpowers figure. He's upstairs. The box for him says Shazam. So until I really started reading comics, I always assumed his name was Shazam. So you have people that'll go, well, how can he introduce himself and say, my name is Shazam? He'll turn into, Billy Batson. And I always took it like, however you say it. There has to be a certain way you have to say Shazam in order to be Shazam. And then once I heard it was Captain Marvel, I'm like, why would you call him Captain Marvel when there's a Marvel comic book going on? So I guess I'm one of the few that I love the name Shazam. I think it's great. You know, say your name.
It
Own it.
suits the character.
I think he was called Captain Marvel to start with. Shazam was the wizard that gave him his powers.
Yeah.
You know, he's Shazam. If you look at any figures, he's Shazam. And I understand why they've done it. It totally makes sense. But I just like the idea. I just hope they don't go too kiddie. I do like the idea of a young kid in in this massive body, and he can do the stuff that Superman can do. And he's kind of in the comics. He's always like, gee whiz. You know, I know he's not like that now. He's kind of like a more hip, cool kid in the comics. But hip. There's a current word for you. Hip. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait for that movie. Just visually, I can't wait to see what they would do, because I think they would go with the Hood. I think they would almost certainly use the Hood, or keep it New 52-esque.
As long as they don't cast The Rock as Shazam, I'm fine.
Black Adam.
Black Adam.
Black Adam.
That's fine. Make him a villain. That's fine. Don't
there's
have him as a girl.
There's a rumor going around now that Dwayne Johnson on his Twitter has said something like, well, my two favorite characters were like Black Adam, or Shazam and Black Adam, and Green Lantern. And DC's going ahead with a Green Lantern. So, ...
John Stewart.
No, I don't
want him for John Stewart.
No, I think he was meaning that, like, they're going on with Green Lantern, so that only leaves me Black Adam. I think it's kind of what he was alluding to in his tweet.
Okay.
Why don't they just make him Jimmy Olsen?
Yeah.
Yes,
He's got his little Superman watch.
from.
He'll be like that Jimmy from Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh yeah, that guy's brilliant. The Superman's got in a headlock.
Yeah.
I love that Jimmy. He's massive. He's still got a gap in his teeth and everything.
Yeah, I know. He's a roided up Jimmy.
Shazam for me was always was one of my favorites. Just being a little kid in school, and I liked the idea. When a bully was picking on me, if I could just say Shazam one time and pow. So that was one of my favorite lines in the Return of Black Adam little mini movie that DC put out a few years back, where after Billy Batson gets his powers and everything, the bullies are coming up to him. They're like, say it. Say one more word, and then you just see the lightning bolt at the very end. I thought that was...
Oh, that was cool. Yeah, like he's going to kick some bully's ass with Superman's strength.
Yeah, right.
It's like the never-ending story where he chases them down the alleyway with Falcor. But Shazam will be a great movie. Well, if it's done right, it's like any movie. If they do it right, But yeah, that one, with the second I saw it, was like, yes, because he's my second. I don't have any Shazam stuff in my collection, like nothing. But he is my second favorite hero after Superman.
But this is the thing, though. You're releasing, Batman and Superman are coming out May 16th. Then Shazam's going to come out in July, and then Sandman in Christmas the same year? Like, they haven't even started filming the other two films.
Or have they?
Yeah, exactly.
Dun, dun, dun.
But usually you get something, some sort of news, something, a photo of something. Like, there's no way you can lock down nowadays an entire movie being filmed. Like, there would be some sort of leak. You know what I mean?
What do you think about the Superman statue that they've said?
Oh, in Detroit that they are erecting?
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's lots of ideas. I was thinking, what does a Superman statue mean? Obviously, I like to think that it's like they've erected a statue in his honour for saving the planet. Everyone's like, but he destroyed the city. If you watch it, he did so little damage to the city himself personally. You can't count it when he's been punched through 10 buildings. That's not really his fault. But yeah, I like the idea that he's kind of got his hand outstretched, and that kind of grid circuitry pattern is more like, when they do a statue of something but they don't really know what it looks like, so they just guesstimate. Nobody's probably been right up close to his suit, so I don't know if it's going to have a brand new suit like that, but I do like the idea they've built it, instead of just CGI-ing it, which they could have done so easily.
How much time do you think has passed since Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman?
I would say a year, maybe 6 months to a year, maybe even real time, 2 or 3 years. But I don't think they'll go that far. I think Metropolis will still be getting rebuilt. There'll be cranes, and Lex will be behind most of the reconstruction. Like the savior of Metropolis kind of thing. Maybe.
Awkward pause.
I'd say probably a couple years, probably around that time frame.
I don't think so.
I'm wondering how soon. I mean, I know they're obviously started to film some stuff now, but before too long, they've got to start getting close to a point where, you know, Batman and Superman are fighting in a street somewhere. So, I mean, as much as we want to see Ben Affleck in the suit, and now people are like, okay, let's see Superman's new suit. There's going to have to be a timetable of, like, when do you release the official photo before somebody gets the leaked photo of, you know, there's the colored version of Ben, or there's the color version of Cavill in his Superman suit. So.
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman at some point too.
Yeah. Well, and I wonder how much Wonder Woman's going to play in. Like Stu was saying, she could be. Right. People are like, oh, you know, Aquaman could be in here and Cyborg could be in here. They may be in there as their secret identities.
Right.
And,
right.
You know, this person's going to be that. So I just.
The best. Oh, sorry.
No, I would say the stuff that I hate hearing, not hate hearing, but people complain like, oh, the movie's going to be too full. There's too many characters. Star Wars, you know.
Yeah.
There can never be. I mean, if the script's not written well, then you can have 50 characters in there, and yes, everybody's going to get lost. So.
And they could be in there for all of a minute. Like, it could be, you know, one shot of them, and that's it. People overreact when we don't know how big a role they're going to play.
Yeah.
Well, the best example is, imagine if you were watching Iron Man and you were told, oh my God, what's his name? Samuel L. Jackson's in it. He was in it for like 30 seconds of the end credit teaser. So as you said, you don't know how much they're going to be in it. You know, Diana could be introduced in 2 scenes, then gone, or even a post-credit scene where you see her putting her gauntlets on. It's like, oh my God, you know, and then that's it.
Yeah, there was a quote from whoever released the schedule for the entire DC universe. It says, quote, like Marvel's The Avengers, there will be cameos from superheroes for future installments. Right. Cameos will include already known Cyborg and Flash, Green Lantern, not played by Ryan Reynolds, thank God, maybe introduced, and Aquaman will also be in the Justice League movie.
Speaking of which, Jason, what's his name? Momoa? I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah. Momoa.
What do we think about that? Possibly.
I'm okay. Somebody had put a picture of him with a shorter haircut, almost doing a very similar pose to the Aquaman #1 from the New 52, and I was like, I'll buy it. I'm one of those that's like, yeah, dye his hair maybe, but you may not have to dye it. If he looks good in whatever type of suit that it might be, I'm good with it.
Well, I've met Jason Momoa, and he's a tall guy. I'm not very tall, but I was standing next to him, and he was like, you've seen that picture, he was like about 4 foot taller than me. He jumped on my brother's back. Funny story, we're getting these photo ops done. It was a Stargate convention, and I got my photo just smiling, and Barry was smiling, and Jason Momoa put his hands on my brother's shoulders and lifted his whole weight off the ground, and my brother was like traumatized. It was so heavy. But the good thing was, you know, the picture of my brother, he looks like he's about to have a heart attack, and the weight of Aquaman on your back. But no, I mean, the guy has played Conan the Barbarian. He's definitely got the physique. He does look, obviously, he's got a more Hawaiian look, but then who's to say that he has to, what Aquaman has to look like? You know, just, as you said, maybe not even dye his hair. Just put an orange suit on him with green trousers. I think he'll look great.
I think if he does, like, maybe if you do, like, the dirty blonde type, you could probably do that.
The other thing is, don't you think, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, I was just going to say,
go ahead.
I think there's actually a risk that, and this will be a total shock, that they might actually make Aquaman cool. You know, Aquaman always gets shit on. Everyone hates Aquaman. But can you imagine if he's in the... Well, he's okay. I don't mind him either. But, you know, I've got a feeling that he's going to be he's going to be really great in the movie, and everyone's going to... I'm trying to think, who else have they done that with recently? That look, even Green Arrow. Green Arrow wasn't that popular until Arrow came out. Now he's kind of on everything, you know?
Yeah, it's just a shame. Like, I would almost rather see an Aquaman movie before a Shazam movie. I think there's more you can do, a lot more visually with a Aquaman movie than you can with like most of the other cast.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a whole nother world that you're going to learn about, like that people that don't even know that much about Aquaman can learn about, and I think you should do more with that.
Yeah, I mean, even think about like Episode 1 or Star Wars Episode 1. I know the effects were kind of cheesy, but you know, like, is it not Camino? What was no, it was on Naboo. You know, where obviously the underwater city. It was very cool. You can imagine Atlantis looking like that, and
exactly.
Ocean Master. He's got to do that thing where he touches his hand to his temple, and it was.
I'm thinking the studios are thinking, Do we do Shazam or do we do Aquaman? And there's some idiot in the boardroom says, remember Waterworld? Oh yeah, let's go ahead.
God.
Let's go ahead and put Shazam first. So
Yeah, definitely. That's the weird thing though. Shazam and Superman, I love them both, but they are very similar. And I think if you have them both in a Justice League, like the best example is Justice League War. You know, it was really tough because he didn't belong there in the animated show, and it was really tough to find things for them both to do. They kind of took Superman out of the picture really quick. But yeah, it could work. It could work.
How do you guys feel about? I've seen some comments on Facebook that people are saying. So technically, Batman, or they said, let me get my words straight here, but Snyder said that the second movie was going to be Man of Steel 2. And I've always kind of said that may have what they said, but I probably said this a million times. It's a bridge movie. I wouldn't think of this as. I think people were so used to seeing Iron Man and then the Hulk and then Captain America. And we put them all together. I think this is one story that's being told in a lot of little different pieces. I think it's a brilliant way that DC has decided this is how we're going to do it. You have a Man of Steel movie that starts it. You have a Batman versus Superman. I don't know, maybe if I would have gone full Justice League, it could have been like Green Lantern and Arrow, Green Lantern and Flash. But still, even that, you put the Justice League together and you still continue that thread that you can keep going back to without doing the offshoot movies. Do you guys like the way DC is at least how they're deciding to do their connected universe, or would you rather have the Marvel method of you introduce all the characters in a giant?
I like the fact that they're gonna give Man of Steel 2 its own movie.
Yeah.
Thank God, because I was really worried that this was going to be the Superman sequel, and they shouldn't do that. So I'm glad that this is his own standalone. It's just a versus, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. After they release this, but I kind of wish they would push Justice League back. I want some of these other characters included. That's what I'm saying. You should put Shazam versus Wonder Woman or a team up. You should put the team ups before the Justice League so you can kind of everybody can formulate together. I mean, how many people are going to be on this team? If Cyborg's going to be on there, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Shazam, Batman, and Superman, 8 people in one movie.
They actually mentioned Martian Manhunter. I read something that apparently some exec had mentioned that John Jones is going to be in the movie in some capacity. So that's 9, you know, that takes the team in. What kind of foe? And you just don't have enough time in the movie to develop all those characters. So I do like they're doing Batman and Superman, flesh out the characters. And that's the other thing. Did you guys watch Thor 2? Have you guys seen Thor 2?
Yeah.
You know that one scene, it's just a 2-second scene when Loki's obviously sort of messing with Thor and he becomes Captain America just for a second. It's a tight shot, but even like in one of these movies, if one of the characters comes in for a second, it would make everyone will be geeking out, you know, just seeing a character you've not seen before. And you know how Marvel they did it so well, where they would just like tease names here and there, and they would just like I'm trying to think of an example now. Well, here's an example in Captain America 2 when they do that thing where they mention Stephen Strange, just a random comment, but everyone was like, "Oh my God, Stephen Strange!" If they do that in DC, it'll be great.
Oh yeah, you can totally pan to like a. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You could totally pan to like a scene, like an end scene, an end credit scene, like they did with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. You could do like an Area 51, and they got Martian Manhunter in like a cell. Do something like that as an end credit scene.
Yeah, I feel like at this point we kind of just need to wait for Batman versus Superman and see how they handle this, because there's been all this talk about who's going to be in it, how long are they going to be in it, is it going to be a credit scene, is it going to be in the movie? After we see this movie, I feel like we're going to get a real idea of where DC wants to go with this universe.
Yeah.
So.
I'm afraid this is my biggest fear. Batman versus Superman. When you sue somebody, it's like ODC versus Rod Rowe. I don't want this to be a courtroom drama. I don't want Batman suing Superman. That would be so boring. I hope it's not a courtroom drama.
I just love the image of Batman in his cowl with a suit on.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. No, seriously, I've never seen that list until when you guys talked about it. So I pulled it up, and it says Batman versus Superman 2016. Then all these other characters, but there's no more Batman. So I bet you they're going to throw Batman in each one of these. I bet you'll have some kind of cameo or something.
He's probably going to be in every. He's either got to be in every single film. Because I mean, is Ben Affleck going to wait 5 years?
Yeah.
To have his own film?
18. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing as well.
It'd be like 50.
Well, not even that, but even Henry Cavill. I mean, Henry Cavill's not 25. What is Henry Cavill? He's like 31, 32?
Yeah, he's my age, 31.
He's going to be like pushing 40 when he's like getting his own, you know what I mean? Not 40, but it'll be close to it.
2018.
Some of us are 40.
You know what I mean, though? You know what?
Yeah.
It's like Daniel Craig as Bond. You know, you're starting to tell that he's just getting a little bit old. You know.
Yeah, big time.
But,
Well,
looking forward to
it
it.
sounds like. Oh, I'm sorry, Stu.
No, I'm just saying I'm looking forward to it overall.
And it sounds like they're not only are they filming Batman vs Superman, but they're filming Justice League. So who's to say that they're going to say, okay, Aquaman and Batman, we need you guys to get together to film this little scene, or Shazam or whoever. So when we get the Shazam movie, we can have Ben come out, so we don't have to wait, like Anthony said, 6 years for Ben to come back in and reprise his role. You film everybody's pieces, and you kind of keep them in the can, and you can spread them out. So
The only downside there is Warner Brothers is notorious for changing superheroes' costumes every movie, and you know that Batman's costume in the next movie won't look like that. It'll be totally different, and they'd have to keep, they need to keep refilming. What's that noise?
Somebody, a rat sitting on my chamber door.
yeah, I hear that now too. Thanks for pointing it out.
I think that's my mom. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Let me in!
I want to be on the show!
Let me in the closet.
Oh! That was
Don't
awesome.
make me get the hose.
Ethel, get back in your sail!
Get in the house.
Maybe we can go keep in the DC frame of talk here. Let's talk about Mattel reacquiring their DC license. I liked how the article said for 3 to 5 years. In case they crap out at year 3, they can go, oh, we only said 3 or 5. So, thoughts? What do you expect? Or are we getting more of the same, like this guy?
Like the skit from Mad TV, lowered expectations.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I think that's good. Given where Mattel is at right now, do you want another 5 years of exactly what we have currently at this moment?
Hell no. There's nothing at the store.
There's no point.
I don't even get those little Batman figures at my local Walmart. We get no DC collectibles. We get no those little 6-inch figures. That don't even exist no more around here. I have to drive like 2 hours to the local comic shop, and there's nothing at my Walmart. I went today. There's nothing. It's horrible.
Well, wasn't that Mattel's big thing? Like, nobody wants 6-inch figures. Or are they banking on there was no property available for them for people to just there's no movie unless you're reading comic books. But now that there's Arrow, Batman vs Superman, Justice League, The Flash, are they kind of going, yeah, I think we can make toys off of this and get back to a 6-inch line?
They need to distribute them right. That's what their problem is. Or Walmart is not putting them in stores. Something's not working. It's either Mattel not giving them to Walmart or Walmart saying, nope, we don't want to put them out.
Yeah, I'm going to call it. I think they're going to keep doing the Total Heroes line. They're going to keep doing that for another 2 or 3 years. And then they're going to do a Movie Masters, Batman vs Superman. They're going to keep doing the 60s Batman. And in between, it's just going to be Total Heroes. I mean, I've got, obviously I showed you this before, but I've got the Total Heroes Bizarro. Which is, you know what, he's actually pretty cool. I'll be honest, this guy in hand is really, really cool. But I mean, I know it's no DC UC line. They're never going to do a DC UC line again. It just wasn't selling enough. And that's not a slight. It just was the truth. You know, it was their fault. Like, if you look at the what was the name of that wave that had 4 figures, like New 52, Superman, Red Robin.
That was the All-Star wave.
The All-Star wave.
All-Star wave. It was such a stupid idea. Why those 4 characters? I've got an idea. Superman, Batman, Red Robin, and who was the 4th one again? It was
Superboy Prime.
Superboy Prime.
Superboy Prime. Why? That was. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad I got the figure, but it was such a random choice. Could you not? I don't know.
That's the thing.
Like they're the all-stars, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, not only did they lose all their momentum from not making DC UCs anymore, and now they're trying to get back to it because they realize they probably fucked up, and they're like, oh, well, we better at least get the movie license back so we can release movie 6-inch figures. That's probably what they realized.
I bet they'll stick with the 4-inch one.
None of their waves made any sense. Like you were saying, Stu, like, why these 4 random people? Like, if you're gonna do a wave, do like a Guardians of the Galaxy wave, all 5 characters, and you get to build a figure. That made sense because it's what? A part of the group. People want to finish their teams and their groups and stuff like that. If you're gonna do a whole wave of characters that make sense.
Well, here's another thing. This is a total no-brainer. Why are they not making Doomsday Unleashed? It makes no sense at all. I guarantee they will sell every single figure they put in a store if they make that figure.
I would buy.
They already have the mold. There's no like that was such a waste.
It's such
Okay, I have an argument. I'm gonna step off real quick. All right.
Bye.
Uh-oh.
Bye, thanks.
See ya.
All right,
ya.
let's change topics here, and we're going to talk about. I'm just kidding.
Okay, and you know what? I don't have it with me here, but
Oh, boo! It didn't happen. It
it's
didn't happen.
upstairs. Okay, this guy, 6-inch, the little 3 3/4-inch Batman. They took the normal 6-inch figure and shrunk it down in all proportions. So they have their Doomsday figure that they already previously made in the DC Superheroes line. Why not take that figure and elongate him and do whatever? They obviously have the tools to do it.
I will be honest though, that Doomsday is too thin. I like the figure, but he's too thin to be a Doomsday. Even if they made him bigger, he would still be like, his legs are really thin, his arms are thin. Like those customs that we got, Anthony, that is a bulky figure. It's huge, it's meaty, the Green Goblin. They've got the molds. Olivia said it. Just put them into a machine, press a button, and make more. It is a no-brainer. It's not like they're going to make 100 and only sell 5.
Mattel's so full of shit. They're so full of shit. They know they're full of shit, and they not only are full of shit, but they're making everybody believe they're bullshit. I was talking with them, and he's like, "Well, we don't have the the money for the extra tooling." I'm like, "It's already tooled. You already did it. If you have one, you can make more. You have one."
Like at this point, they're doing the Bound Doomsday for San Diego Comic-Con. Why couldn't they have just done Unleashed Doomsday for New York Comic-Con later this year? At that point, they could charge extra for it, and people will still buy it because they want it that badly. Like,
Exactly.
make it a con exclusive, super overpriced or whatever, but people will still buy it.
It's like they don't want to make money.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone will bitch about the price. Oh my God, it's $100, but they'll still buy it.
They'll buy it.
About it later. Yeah, exactly. They'll buy it. I mean, it's on the Validus mold, so it is absolutely massive. It's huge. I would have loved to have got it. But yeah, it makes no sense that they're making 10 different kinds of Orko for Motu, but they won't make a Doomsday. It makes no sense at all.
I still don't know how the Motu Classics sub got through and the DC sub did not.
I bet you Mattel
Where are Masters of the Universe figures? I have not seen one in a store ever.
I've never.
Ever.
They're online sales only.
You know what though? I know exactly why the Motu got done and the DC didn't, because the Motu figures are cool. I don't watch Masters. I don't like them, but you watch them. They've got like 20 accessories. Their arms come off. The Mechanics head. They've got really cool features. And the DC, look at that Superboy we got. That last figure, he was garbage. And don't get me wrong, I say that's garbage. I'm glad I've got them and stuff, but I know a good figure and a bad figure. It's just the head looked terrible. It looked like a mannequin.
Yeah. Did not look good at all.
That Superboy is a oof.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I must admit I've come around to Scott Knightley. I know I was never a huge fan of Scott Knightley in the past, but I know that he really does try and stuff. But it's when he gets a figure like that Superboy and he's trying to sell you how amazing it is, and I'm like, come on, dude, come on, look at it. It's I don't know. It's such a shame because oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, is Damien's still the last figure to come out from the old line, correct?
Yeah, like 10 years from now, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, Stu, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, not at all. I was just going to say, you look back at the DC UC and there are some absolute gems, like even like the Scarecrow from DC Superheroes, Steel. They're some of the best figures they've ever made sculpt-wise. The Batman from the DC Superheroes with a big chunky belt.
Yeah.
And then you look at it really is quality. You can tell that their budgets went down. The Four Horsemen, they're giving them less and less money, so they're just doing poorer and poorer jobs, really.
You know what else I think is really funny? I love this. This is my favorite. Remember how the Watchmen were like $50? You couldn't find them anywhere. You go on Magic Collector, you can't get. They don't have enough to get rid of. They're all in stock, and they're all $25. Now, I'll come back in like January or last year. You couldn't find any of them. They were sold out, but now all of a sudden, poof! They have an abundance of them.
Yeah.
Well, that's something they wanted to do. There was no sub you had to sign up for. They were just fans of Watchmen, and that's what they wanted to do. And that's the same with Scott Knightley. He is a fan of Motu. He's admitted to that. He loves Motu more than DC. You can tell in his videos, so that's probably why the Motu line continue on.
Well, I remember watching your reviews, Jason, of the Watchmen figures, and yours, Anthony, as well, and I was shocked at like how poor they were. Like the accessory, they gave Rorschach a grappling hook that was like half the size of his body. It was massive.
I know.
whose idea was like, yeah, let's make it this size? It's just, you know what it is? It's poor planning. Don't you just wish for a day? And I understand that we don't always know how it works in toy manufacturers and stuff, but don't you wish for just a day you could be in charge, just for one day? And just say, nope, cancelled, no, that's ugly, take it back, no, that's good, that's correct. Just choose all the good stuff. You could make money. I think there are a bunch of yes men. Do you not think it's like, does this look good? Yes.
It's gotta be that, because it's gotta be a bunch of people just disagreeing with the dumb ideas that's coming out from the guy that's ahead of them.
Yeah, exactly.
The guys with the good ideas are too scared to speak up because they might lose their job.
Well,
oh yeah, let's make a Super Friends wave. Yes, sir. Let's do that, and they'll sit and
I'm gonna charge $30 per figure.
well, and that was something you said earlier. I'm trying to think. It was Wave 22, Captain Boomerang, Bronze Tiger. It was Apache Chief Wave.
Super Friends wave.
Yeah, it was almost a Super Friends wave. I would have taken out Bronze Tiger, left Toyman because he was in the TV show. I forget who else was in that didn't need to be in there. But I would have thrown in Firestorm again and Zan and Jaina and made it a full superpowers wave.
What wave was that?
That always bothered me.
I think it was Wave 19.
19.
I want to say it was 19.
2 seconds.
El Dorado.
Yeah.
In there.
Black Vulcan.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, it was Samurai, Toyman,
Samurai.
Black Vulcan, El Dorado, Captain Boomerang, Bronze Tiger, and it was Apache Chief. Yeah, that's
That
right.
was like the weakest wave ever.
What'd you say?
That was like the weakest wave ever.
Yeah, and they sat. I loved it, but that's what killed my Walmart, because those things sat there and sat there and sat there.
I think there's still some in my Kmart.
You're still sitting there. Samurai is still waiting to be picked up by somebody.
I went to my local Toys R Us, and they had a buy one get one 50% off, and I bought that whole entire wave in one shot. And I walked out with like 6 figures, and there were still like 30 on the pegs there. So.
Well, I must admit there was a Samurai in Forbidden Planet in Edinburgh, and that when it's in Edinburgh in a Scottish shop, that there's too many of them. But yeah, I'm on this DCU site, and there were some fantastic figures, going through. Some of them weren't good at all, but I mean, it's amazing. There's so many great figures, so many great Build-A-Figures and stuff, and it's a shame. It really is a shame that they've kind of stopped. And I'm convinced that the only reason Mattel did this is so they have the monopoly. So they have the rights and they'll just sit on it. They'll make mediocre figures, for a couple of years. Because the only other opportunity, can you imagine if Hasbro got the rights somehow? They just decided to pay some money. Or even NECA. Can you imagine if NECA paid money and got it? The other thing, I was wondering about this when I heard the news, was DC Collectibles kind of dipped their toes into extreme articulation and stuff, and it's not really worked. Let's be honest. They're falling to pieces.
Don't complain about it. Don't complain about it.
Yeah.
It's not ungrateful, Rob.
It's like Fox, because they own X-Men. They can just put out mediocre crap.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, and I'm kind of thinking that DC have kind of dipped their toe in. Now, bear in mind, where was it we read this? I was reading the DC Collectibles question and answers, and they were talking about how a figure takes like 3 years to make. You know, they started producing it 3 years ago, so I think they've dipped the toe and it's not worked, and they don't really want to do extreme articulation anymore. They want to get back to what they're good at.
I don't think so. Because after that, because that quiz that, not the quiz, the poll that they ran asking fans how much articulation they want, the most articulation won by like a landslide, they said.
Oh, I hate
So
that.
they're gonna. And then the least articulation came in last, Stu. It was you and Richard.
That was me. That was the one.
Well, since we opened up the can of worms, and it was kind of funny, a couple weeks ago, DC put out the picture of how an action figure is built. I think they took a Batman to do like the exploded model view of it, and I saw somebody took a picture of it and wrote on it, clear ball joint here, clear ball joint here. And like this Batman figure, I thought was just great. This whole Justice League line was really good. And I think I said before, I was always treating my DC figures like they were statues or something like that. I don't mind if the figures move and have extra articulation, but I don't want it to suffer A, for sculpt, and B, my ankles are so weak that they fall over and all.
Yeah, they can't stand.
Yeah. And so since we opened up, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think collectibles had to do it. They had to switch. They had to like give more articulation because they knew before they could do what they were doing. They could give us statue-esque figures, and that's what we wanted because we had DC UCs for the articulation, but we also had DC collectibles for our beautifully sculpted statuesque figures. You know what I mean? That you're not going to really pose a lot. But now that the DC UC is gone, I think DC Collectibles has realized is like, well, we can make money, and we all know people want more articulation, so we might as well just try and give it to them. But they're just they're just not doing it the right ways. They're going about it the wrong way.
Yeah.
I think Stu said it really good. If I'm quoting you, that I would still take what DC Collectibles is doing right now. If they never change, we have the clear ball joints, I would still take that over what Mattel is currently doing any day of the week.
Yeah.
So,
Because Mattel's doing next to nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear ice cream.
That's me again.
Ooh, give me one.
Ice cream!
Sorry.
Guys, I'll be right back.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Sign
that
this out.
That would have been laid back.
Like,
So she's sitting there eating ice cream. I'm like, well, this show just sucks on this.
Hey, shut out the window. Turn it off!
We got a podcast in here.
doing a podcast.
Well, since we kind of were talking about figures and pets' heads are falling off, some of us on our channels, I'm not going to say who it is, but may seem like he might get upset a little when his figure breaks, or if it's not painted exactly correct. Am I allowed to say such thing on my channel in my video about my toy? If I buy a car and I drive it off of a lot and the tire falls off, do I have to go, well, I bought the car, I guess I better go take it home, thank you for making a car? No. It fell apart. I'm going to take it back to the dealership. I don't care who you are. I don't care. So that means if you buy a pizza and the pizza sucks, you're going to continue to eat it and not say anything to your waiter? I think you're going to.
This pizza is so bad.
So maybe I open up there. So, but I've said it before that, not that I try and go, well, hey, I think you owe me something, but when I pay you $22, $25, or maybe $99 off eBay, Anthony, for a figure, or whatever it is, I do expect it. If I buy like this little guy here, I'm not expecting the world from it. And maybe it's my fault this line's still continuing. But when I
thanks,
buy
Rob.
Thanks a lot.
this guy,
Stop buying him, man.
You're just
when I buy this guy, yeah, and his leg falls off, and I pay $15 for him or $20, yeah, I expect it to be made right. I don't think I should be able. I could take it back to the comic book shop and say, hey, it's broke, get me another one. And the comic book shop says, well, we might be able to send it back. I don't know. So yeah, I emailed somebody So I don't know. I'll run with it before I go on another rant and get yelled at for it.
No, I mean you were right. You were right in what you did. I mean,
Please.
I think the problem people had, and I don't agree with that at all, was that the guy actually got back to you, which was amazing. Jim Fletcher, and to all his credit, I wrote an email. I didn't even write to him. I wrote a message to DC complaining because I had like Ultraman and who else did I get? Superboy and Bizarro, and Bizarro was shocking. I didn't even open him. I had a look at it, and the paint was right up onto his neck. And I'm not ungrateful. I just sent a message saying, look, I've bought every single Superman figure you've ever made. You know, I didn't say you owe me, and I didn't even ask for anything. I just basically said, look, here's what you've done. I'm not very happy. Just to let you know that it's made me reconsider buying them in the future. And that's all I said. And Jim Fletcher emailed me. I was shocked. I got this email back from him, and he was so kind. I'm not really going to. I'll maybe do a video. I've not done videos for ages, obviously, but he was so kind. He got back to me, and the stuff he sent me was amazing, and I'm really grateful, you know. And yeah, I mean, he didn't have to do that. He could have just apologised and said, "Look, we're working on it. Thanks for your custom," and that was it. But he went above and beyond. He sent stuff to Scotland, you know, and it wasn't just like it was great. So yeah, Rob, I think you're totally justified in what you did. And then of course he sent you a figure and it broke again, you know. So I mean, you're right. It was,
I didn't know that.
you know, his crotch opened up and it was Nightwing, wasn't it?
Gross.
Red Nightwing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
I had to look at the hole in the crotch.
Yeah.
Well, I did the same thing that you did. It wasn't like I said, "Hey, you owe me something." It was just more of, "Hey, what can you do? I'm alerting you to a situation.
Yeah.
I already said I already pre-ordered some of these figures, so I didn't expect you to send me stuff that I already pre-ordered." So when Rez and I got our figures, I actually called my comic book shop and said, "I got Wonder Girl. I didn't think that was going to happen, so now I don't need the figure that I pre-ordered from you." And they were like, "Okay, we'll throw it on the shelf." So it wasn't like I said, you know, "You owe me something." I think after Nightwing broke again, I was kind of like, "Okay, seriously, we just did this almost exactly a week ago, and we're back to square one again." So, yeah, I do believe in, you know, if you're willing to call the waiter back to your table because your steak is cooked wrong, I think you have the right to say the figure or the movie or the car, whatever it is broken or defective. I don't want you to feel like you have to give me something, but at least make me whole, refund my money, do whatever it is. So, and Jim Fletcher was great. He didn't have to send all three. He could have said, "Hey, sorry about your Green Arrow figure. We don't have any to send you, but here's Superboy," and I would have sent it to Rez, but they went out and gave all of us.
Yeah.
So I guess we can get into Rez's Kid Flash or open that up if you guys still want to talk about this topic.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I've not seen a single review on any DC figure, and I've not covered. I've got them all still in package, Ultraman, and I'm actually worried, you know, because I'm sure they'll be fine. But you know, I've seen so many legs falling off. But it is kind of like a travesty, you know. And it's not his fault; it's DC's fault. They're using substandard plastic.
Yep.
And every single review I've seen, I've not seen whether it's like Shartimus Prime or Sean Long or Pixel Dan. Every single review, and I don't think they've all covered them, but they've all got paint flaws. You know, they've all got problems here. The eyebrows missing, or they're like Superboy is probably hands down the worst painted DC figure I've ever seen in every single figure. Like I went to Forbidden Planet, and they had like 9, and every one was terrible. It had like silver paint across the chest, and when you're getting one, it's fine, but every single one means there's definitely a production problem. And I know why Superman's so bad. It's because they painted him black. And when you paint red on top of black, it doesn't show up. So they painted him silver and then painted red on top of the silver to make it really look metallic and shiny. And they just never covered all the silver, and it really shows on a black figure that there's a big silver gap. So it's just, you know, it's poor manufacture. And DC must have took a big hit on that figure. The amount of people that returned it, and there must have been a lot. But I suppose for every person like us, I'm really, really picky when it comes to paintwork. That's just because I'm a collector. You know, I don't buy this to run around the living room flying with it. Well, some are. But no, I'm just kidding. No, seriously, though, I don't buy them. They all sit in my cabinet and stuff, so I want to be able to look at them and I want them to look good. You know, even the back doesn't really bother me as long as the front, because that's what I look at all the time. But yeah, it was just so badly done. It was really not depressing. That I'm not going to exaggerate, but I mean, it was annoying that normally you go in and try and find the best figure. There was no best figures to be found, you know. So I don't know. I feel sorry for Tony as well because you know, I know he's not got a lot of money, you know, and he has to put he puts all the money he has into his collection that he has spare, and when you got a broken figure, like that Flash figure's totally put him off collecting, you know, for a while. He's just, you know, put him kind of under the weather.
I feel like that's happening with a lot of, like, even Marvel Legends too. Like the last couple of waves where there was problems with the paint apps. Some of the paint apps are too light, and then I think it's happening across the board with with Hasbro and with DC Collectibles. Like, there's just problems. Like, I haven't seen any problems with any of the Guardians of the Galaxy figures. Like, from the reviews I've seen, I'm still waiting on my wave to get to me, but I think it's happening across the board. I don't know what's going on with these toy companies, but they need to get their head on straight, because there weren't this many problems before. I don't ever remember this being a big, huge issue like it is now.
Yeah.
Is it a race for the toy companies to try and get things out that we've got to get this figure out so it makes it by the movie date, or so if I'm NECA, we've got to get it out before DC gets their thing out? So are they rushing things through that shouldn't be gotten through, or do you have ill-equipped people painting and putting things together, and they're like, yeah, that's fine, plastic, just go? So yeah. I just kind of wonder what the whole...
Look at the X-Men 5-pack.
Yeah.
That's the rushed figures.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely quality control. At the end of the day, there's a guy employed at the factory who looks at each figure, or maybe not. I think it must be each figure. Otherwise, how could you tell? But he looks at it and says, "Yep, that's for, you know, that can be sold. That can be sold. That can be sold." You know, where was he when Superboy? I just imagine they were just going straight from the conveyor into the truck. you know, it's like The Simpsons when it's the jar and there's a jar with a guy's head in it going by, a syringe, and but yeah, I don't know. I mean, as you said, I've seen a lot of quality control problems and a lot of reviews, be it Transformers or anything. But you know, there's certain things you never hear about it, like SH Figure Arts and things like that. I don't think I've ever seen a review where someone said they had a bad paint app. They just seem to be so well made. And Hot Toys, I know they're a higher end collectible, but you know, it's very rarely QC problems on things like that. So I don't know. I think they're just cheaping out. Mattel's maybe using factories they didn't use before, and same with Hasbro.
Yep.
I don't know.
They're definitely cheaping out, definitely, because you can see the paint applications from older figures and compare them to a new figure and be like, this is not even remotely the same.
Well, the other thing as well is I think even the sculpting has kind of gone down a bit as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love like the what was I going to say? What was the new Batman line? The Capullo line. Sculpting was really good for the most part. But then you look at a figure like Flash, and Flash, it was not a good sculpt. The preview image looked terrible. The figure, I didn't like the figure either. I just think his proportions were all wrong. His legs were too small and his feet were too big. And I don't know. It just seems like they're kind of farming out the sculpting to people that are kind of substandard. I always mention Tim Bruckner and stuff. I love Tim Bruckner, but he always made amazing figures. You know, the sculpt, the articulation, obviously, I didn't even think was necessary, but it was like a master sculptor at work. You know, and then you get, I don't know, it's almost like you get substandard sculptors working on entire lines. You know,
they should just hire the Four Horsemen.
But didn't the Four Horsemen sculpt that Superboy?
Yes, they did. They did do that, and it was an older sculpt too. They said.
Yeah.
Of the Superboy from DC Collectibles is Four Horsemen?
No, the Mattel one.
The Mattel.
Mattel one, yeah. The really taller than Superman Superboy.
Well, wasn't that the same head sculpt as Superboy Prime, just with different hair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's so weird looking, because it's not even supposed to look like that.
You know, I'm actually amazed that, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Mattel released like a Doomsday and it was the Validus body, but it still had Validus's head with some spikes on it. You saw the name and everything. They'll never know.
Better than nothing.
They'll never know.
I'm sad that there's no Mattel new DC UC, because I'm looking at my collection right over here, and that's just collecting dust now, you know. And I don't want to start on a new line because I watch you guys, and they're all breaking and all that. And that Firefly you sent me, Anthony, I'm afraid to open that up. I just like to look at him in the package because I was like, oh, he's pretty. I don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
But
the legs.
yeah. But then I've been, collecting GI Joes, and that last set of GI Joes, those have issues too. And they can't even hold their guns right. They're all like 1960s Vietnam era. I was like, wow, even GI Joe has that problem too. And if I don't know if you guys saw my Roadblock review, but I had to buy 2 of those because that was funny. It was horrible. His eyes were all like this way, and he looked. They made The Rock look so stupid.
He was just distracted by Cobra. Destro was over there and Cobra Commander was over there.
So I think, like you guys said, Hasbro's having problems, DC's having problems, and Mattel's having problems. They didn't get their act straight, or I'm just going to stop buying them. And my wife would be happy, though, if I stopped buying them. But
Mine as well.
That's another thing, Jason. How come they're not really releasing any more G.I. Joe figures anymore?
From what I read, they tried to make it a movie line, and that movie wasn't as good as they had hoped. And G.I. Joe has when I was a kid, it died out. Because they started making different colored figures.
Yeah, in the mid-90s. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it came back, and for a little bit with Valor versus Venom, and then it died out, and then the 25th figures came out, and now it's to another point where it's just kind of dying out because of the movie not doing so well. So give it another 5-10 years. And it's sad because this is the 50th year for the whole G.I. Joe line, when it first started back in the 60s. And they made some remakes, figures that cost $100. They're giving us a new low light so we can afford a low light, but
right.
It's sad, but I don't know. But one thing I do like about GI Joes, you can make it's so easy to customize those. Pop their heads off, switch out their web gear. You can make your own team up. Hey, this guy looks like somebody I know. Or I know I got a Stu Murray GI Joe.
Did you see Strident's video on that?
I've probably seen it.
The team he did, the custom team he did.
Oh yeah. See, I actually have a custom team down there. I'll show a video one day.
Before I saw your video, Jason, I would never have thought of customizing GI Joes, but I love the fact that all your team is, totally unique and they've all got the same colors and.
Yeah, that's pretty big to me. I don't want a guy in a football jersey on the battlefield.
Yeah, I never got that. Bazooka was like a target. Yeah, you go over there, Bazooka. We'll go this way.
Yeah, and you Lifeline. You're all red.
Yeah, I'll go with you, Baby Back Ribs.
Yeah, Baby Back. I finished her custom. I want to show that video one day.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's funny. Bazooka, Shipwreck, and Snake Eyes, I think Duke were the first 3 or 4 figures that I had as a kid. I remember thinking, we're going to put a football player out in the field, he's going to get shot first wearing a bright number 12 red.
Exactly.
Not just that, but Shipwreck had flares. Shipwreck had flare trousers running in the battlefield.
Yeah.
And the figure didn't come with a pistol, he came with like a pirate gun.
Yeah, that whole flare trousers deal, that's what the Navy guys actually wore, though. That's actually pretty authentic. Because I was in the Navy and I had flare trousers as a uniform. So
but
we call them dungarees.
Bazooka was my favorite growing up because I wanted to have a mustache just like him.
Sports star mustache, yeah. But we were kids and we're like, this is dumb. Why is he in a football? We're 8 years old and we're like, this is stupid.
Yeah. All he had was a bazooka with one shot. He didn't have a pistol. It was like one fire and he was useless.
Didn't Shipwreck also come with a parrot or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it never stayed on his wrist though. There was nothing to keep on. They would have a magnet on him nowadays. But in fact, Shipwreck came with like a rope with like a metal magnet. I don't know what it was. I don't know.
I don't remember that.
Crazy.
Oh, I remember when my first. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just.
I remember the first time my GI Joe started breaking because after a while their thumbs start breaking off because of the plastic. But that day that dude's crotch broke off, oh my God, it made me so sick, and I pretended that he got shot in the crotch by Cobra, and I tried to glue that piece back. It's like a little hook this way, but I glued it this way, so it looked like he was happy all the time, and I was like, oh, I gotta break that off,
Goonies.
I had to retire him. Yeah, it was like Goonies. Yeah.
Although, what was funny was Destro got into battle with his chest on show with a big medallion.
Yeah.
Like a pimp.
And he's from Scotland.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see the cartoon, he was not from Scotland with that accent. Go back up under.
I always thought he was a black guy though, but
I know. I thought it was a black guy too. I was like,
He was voiced by a black guy.
I thought he was either dark side or a black guy. I was like, I won't have the anti-life equation.
I just remember watching Voltron and hearing the voice narrator go, "Man, that sounds a lot like Optimus Prime."
Oh man,
Peter Cullen did everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are we on our topics? That's what I had written down. The last one I had was comments on YouTube. I don't even know how to open
Don't
this.
get me started with that shit.
Hey, don't talk to me like that.
Yeah.
No, and I think, I don't think any of us here are working for DC or Hasbro or anything like that at all. We all have jobs. We're all working. So I know each of our videos are personal to us and our style and things like that. I've never gone to anybody in the real world. I think that sometimes you can hide behind your computer screen and you can go, "You're an ass clown." I think you're completely... Why go to that thing? It's... I forget who. I was watching some Guardians of the Galaxy videos today of people reviewing those figures. Rocket Raccoon looks horrible, and I cannot think of the female right now. Her name's escaping me.
Gamora.
Yes, her paint apps look horrible. And I had commented on the guy's video. I said, great review, just a poorly executed figure. But it wasn't like I attacked the guy for having a crappy video or anything like that. It was just more of a comment of my displeasure on the particular video. So sometimes I think people forget that everybody's human beings, everybody's got feelings and things like that. To just go out of your way to personally insult somebody, I think is low. That's the worst common denominator in a human being I think there can possibly be, is to make yourself better that you can hide behind your computer screen and say whatever it is that you want to say to another human being. When I think if we were face to face, you probably wouldn't say that to somebody.
I hope so. I hope not.
And if you are, you probably would deserve a slap in the face. But I know it's always bigger to turn and walk and take the other cheek. But when you're taking time out of your family or your social life to put up a video review of whatever it is, for somebody to just completely want to trash you or say, "Oh, that little show that you're involved of is complete silly and utter nonsense," is like...
Who would say that?
I don't know who would say that, but those shall go unnameless. You know who you are. But I don't go for that. I don't go around other people trying to insult them. So my mom always said, if you want anything nice to say, go outside and play with your friends. So that's my soapbox. That's my NBC Now You Know moment.
Na 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 na. Here's my spiel right here. If you don't like my videos, just don't watch them. Simple as that. I'm afraid to do any Star Trek reviews right now because those guys are so stinking mean. And man, you pronounce one thing wrong, they just tear you a new one. Or I made up a song. I think it's Stu's still ringtone, but I got so many comments that how they hated me and they wanted to kill me. It's
Jesus.
horrible.
Wow.
Those Star Trek fans are brutal. And if it wasn't for Stu's wife, give me some great encouraging words, I probably would have quit because it got that bad. And I was like, what, this thing ain't worth it anymore. But she sent me some nice email via Stu, and it was nice. It said, hey, you know what? If they don't like it, too bad. It's your channel. Yeah. And Stu went through the same thing, and at one time. So
yeah,
I have Patty to thank. Thank you, Patty.
Oh, thank you. She'll love that. No, seriously, I've been through it. I must admit though, I try to go out my way to be kind to everyone. I reply to I think every one of my comments. The only ones I don't reply to are where people comment, and when I click on reply, the comments vanished, and I always feel guilty. Like, do they know I'm not just ignoring them, that I can't do it? But yeah, I reply to everyone if I can, even if it's just a thanks for watching. I know it seems like I say the same thing over and over again, but sometimes I'll have like 87 comments to reply to, and me and my wife will be watching TV, and I'm just sitting there replying to, I'll get 30 done tonight, and I've got another. I wake up and I've got 30 more, and I'm not bragging or anything. That's just the way it is. Some of them are not nice. Some of them are pretty bad actually. And I've learned that I don't have time for that. I mean, as you said, Jason, if you don't like my videos, don't watch them. I know they're not perfect. So I just usually delete those comments. I know it's free speech and stuff, but it's also my YouTube channel. So I usually just delete the comment, and if it's really rude, I'll block them.
I do that right off the bat. Just block them right off the bat.
I don't know how that works. I've never actually tried, but I take it if I block them and they try and watch my channel, it'll just come up saying you can't watch it or an error. I don't know, but I usually block them, delete their comment, and then I check them on Facebook and delete them on there as well. I've done that recently with a guy who. You guys know who he is. So annoying. Like, he just has nothing good to say about anything, and it's
I wonder who that is.
an unnamed.
Could that be my favorite person in the whole world?
But I just don't have time for it. I'm a nice guy. I'll never offend anyone. I don't think I've ever offended anyone. I try not to anyway. Maybe Scott Knight, but I didn't mean that. I'm sorry.
That's nice of you.
Yeah. But yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I always treat people the way I'd like to be treated, so I'm always polite, I'm always kind. And I comment on all my sub videos as well, so I've got a folder. I use an app called MixTube. I think I've shared it with you guys. It's a really good app. I'm not selling it, it's just a good app. It lets you download the videos onto your phone, and it shows as a view. So what I'll do is I'll wake up in the morning and I'll see like Olivia's done a video, or Anthony, or Rob's done a couple, and I download them onto my phone, and that way I can watch them when I don't have the internet later on. I don't have to wait for the internet. And I've got another folder which is just all those videos, so as soon as I watch them I'll go and comment, or anyway. But I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know where.
Come on, dude, seriously.
Be kind, be good. But yeah, it is annoying when you get really negative comments, and I know that most of them are just little kids who are in their home, they live with their parents and stuff, which there's nothing wrong with that if you live with your parents. But
stupid head.
Yeah, so be nice, everyone. Anyone that watches, be polite. Treat us the way we'd like to be treated, basically.
Yeah, I do the same thing if I get anything. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
If I get any negative comments, which has happened recently, like a couple times, they seem so random and like out of nowhere. But I've done the same thing now. It's just delete them, block them, because it's it is my channel, and it's like everybody else is so nice. Like it usually on all our reviews and everything, it's most people are kind and like-minded and whatever. So I don't want the negativity. There's no reason. Nothing of I don't want to see it. My viewers don't want to see it. So I just get rid of it. It's like,
good for you.
No thanks.
I'm not so nice.
Hence your video series, Asshole of the Week.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put up with it. If you write me a rude comment, I'm gonna write you the rudest comment you'll ever see, and then I'll block you.
Well, and good for you.
He even does it on our channel.
I win, you lose. You're always going to lose. Post on my channel. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, I will block you. And I don't know. It's just like the whole. Oh my God! I don't know if you guys even watched or looked at the comments of the people who were commenting on my X-Men movie review, but there was people that were like, "You're an idiot! You don't know anything about the X-Men! You're stupid! You have sex with sheep," one guy said.
What?
Yeah, he said I had sex with sheep.
No.
Is that relevant?
That's just where you reply and say, no, it was with a goat, you jerk.
Like I got so much heat for that fucking review, and like I had to block like 7 people.
Holy cow.
I was like, listen, and I said it in my review, if you don't like the way I think, then go to my page, click unsubscribe, and go away.
Exactly. Good for you.
I mean, it's a good problem, like Stu was saying, if you have 30-some comments, or sometimes I get behind in looking at my comments and go, man, I've got 20-some comments to go through. That's a great problem to have, and I'm very thankful for every subscriber that I have, but at the same time, it's for those 2 or 3 that are kind of taking the pot shots at you. It's like, then why'd you click on the video in the first place if that's all you're going to do is just troll around and be a little sniper and pick people off? But
looks like a troll, acts like a troll.
Don't know what that means.
But yeah,
picture later.
I must admit, Anthony, I was watching your review and I did disagree with a couple of things, but I didn't say anything. I didn't comment. And you know what the worst thing is? I can't remember what they are now. You know what it was? I was cleaning our office. I think I showed you pictures like a before and after. It took about 2 hours to clean, and I had your review on for the majority of it. And it was good. I mean, it was really good to hear your point of view. I loved the movie though. I totally disagree with the basic stuff, but yeah, I mean, I loved that you were passionate about it. I thought that was good. You were.
And I think that's what people misunderstood, is that I wasn't angry.
Yeah.
I was expecting Days of Future Past, and that's not what it was. If you read the original comic from the 80s, you know what that story is. And they shouldn't have named it Days of Future Past. If you're going to put a product out there and say, this is going to be the source material, then make it the source material. But there was more I was going to add to it, like the whole Sentinel thing and how they were in the future, and then they turned into the Destroyer from Asgard for some reason. There was fire coming out of it. It just didn't make sense. Like the whole adaptable weapon system, and it didn't make sense because that's not even Mystique's powers. She didn't have an adaptable weapon system. She just changes her. That's it.
One thing I kind of like that. I like the fact that they just used her DNA as the absolute basis and they'd worked technology. It was like the T-1000 basically. But one thing that I just remembered, one of the things I was like, no, Anthony, you've got it wrong. It was you were talking about how no one looked any older. Iceman had a little beard and no one looked any older. It was only set 10 years after the last X-Men movie. It wasn't set like 50 years in the future. So that's why Iceman just had a beard, because he was only going to be 10 years older, but there was a problem with that. Magneto. Wolverine has been alive since like the 1800s. You know what I mean? He was in the cavalry, he was in World War I, World War II. So in the last X-Men, the Wolverine, he looked normal, but 10 years later he had grey hair.
Yeah.
The
other thing, Kitty Pryde was using powers she's never ever used in the comic ever.
Yeah, I'm
changing somebody's consciousness into the future. She's never been able to do that. Ever.
But that was the other thing. You were talking about how at the end Wolverine was like he didn't remember anything, and you were like, he's the only one that would remember. Well, technically he did remember, but what he remembers didn't happen anymore. He's the only one that remembers the Holocaust and all the bad stuff. Everyone else remembers this great future where they all set up the school and they're all still alive, and he still remembers Jean dying. He still remembers Cyclops dying. So that's why he said to Xavier, I need to catch up. You know, and so that's why Xavier was going to have to teach him what happened, you know, because he'd lived another future from that, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know this isn't X-Men talk, but it was a good review. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, I enjoyed it too, and I didn't comment like a tool because I didn't want to jab at you and tell you you're a tool clown. No. But out of all the X-Men movies, that's actually been my favorite. I walked out of the theater and went, okay, it's not the comic book. I don't hate it. It wasn't the Wolverine, not the Wolverine, but what was the first?
Origins? Yeah.
Yeah, Origins. It wasn't Origins, and it wasn't X-Men 3. So I was pleased with it. My expectations were here, and it kind of met it at about here. So I was pleased with it.
Yeah. Anyway, good movie. Yeah. Just kidding.
Well, if we're through with our topics, if anybody else has anything else, what do you think about going into the 4 issues of Batman Eternal here and our last little bit?
Okay.
Excellent. So, like we've been saying, the first part of this video is listed as the Eternal Edition. We're kind of all of us are reading through the Batman Eternal series that's going on right now. And I've got to say, one of my fellow YouTubers here, or not fellow YouTubers, Facebookers, had sent me James Tynion autographed copy of issue 5. I was just totally blown away. Got a certificate of authenticity. So, sir, thank you so very much for sending me this. He said he was going to meet him, and it was very, very cool. So Thank you, thank you, thank you. So what we're going to be talking here are issues 5, 6, 7, and 8. 9 and 10 are already out, but we're going to kind of save those for a little bit later, and we'll catch up. I heard from my comic book guy at the comic book store, of course, comic book guy, comic book store. He was saying that he thought he read this is going to go to 60 issues, as opposed to 52 that was originally set up. He said that's kind of what it looks like it's going to do. So I think they're trying to stretch it to meet something for whatever reason it is. That could be good, that could be bad. We'll have to see as we go through. Issue 5 here was we had the first appearance of a major Batman character other than the little like call to arms that we had, other than Batgirl. Most of the Bat family has been kind of MIA for the last couple issues, but Tim Drake finally makes his big appearance, other than a couple little panels where he was fighting a robot after James Gordon gets arrested. And I really liked the way that Tynion, I can never say his name right, that he's writing Red Robin in this. It's a lot better than the Scott Lobdell Red Robin. And I think this is supposed to have taken place since DC pushed back Nightwing 30. This is supposed to have taken place after Nightwing 30. So the disdain that Tim has for Bruce in this issue, that Tim makes it known to Batman that there's a problem in the family. We have lost Damian and now Dick, and this Bat family, there's something wrong with it, and Bruce really doesn't kind of want to hear it. And I like the little moment that Alfred has with Tim in this, basically saying, I don't think Master Bruce likes you having all these Robin nests. So I kind of like it where Tim's more kind of like, you know what, I'm operating on my own. I've got my Teen Titans things, and I don't need a big brother or daddy looking over my shoulder. So you can kind of see where some of the Bat family is already kind of fractured in this issue. And we have Vicky Vale making her very first appearance in this series, and she is wanting to get in on the gang war story that is going on. And I didn't catch the name of her reporter. Does anybody remember who her cameraman is in this?
It was Joey. His name was Joey.
Joey, yeah.
Joey.
So, and then Tim is investigating the kids that were captured by Professor Pig. That he finds out that the kids were already infected with some nanobite before Professor Pig got a hold of them. We get the first meeting with Harper Row and Red Robin, and I think this kind of alludes to issue 28, where Bluebird, Harper Row, ends up saying something to Batman that I'm assuming that Tim must take Harper under his wing at some point, and even Joey makes some comment to Tim like, hey, I've got a photo of you on my wall, or something like that. Is this Red Robin from the Teen Titans? So I thought that was a cool little beat. Yeah. But Harper's brother ends up being affected by the nanobites as well. And then I don't know who this character is, so if somebody can maybe help me out, whoever Maxwell is in the final panel of the book. So that's kind of the brief overall description of the book. We'll kind of open it up for discussions of what everybody is thinking about issue 5 of Batman Eternal. I really liked it. Of course, being a Red Robin, Tim Drake fan, it was really cool to kind of see Tim really have a vehicle in here where he's written very well. So back to you guys.
I had to look up Maxwell, and apparently he's from earlier in the Batman series of the New 52.
I must have missed that.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him, so.
I don't have the book to hand. What was the last panel with Maxwell again? Remind me.
I think
the monkey.
Yeah, it was the monkey with the old guy with the beard. Hold on.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, and he also mentioned that he trained Bruce. And he said that Bruce won't be happy that the nanobots were activated ahead of schedule. He won't be happy. And I was like, why would Bruce not be happy? Didn't really make sense to me. But, I mean, I must admit, I liked the issue as well. I thought it was great. I had loads of questions, obviously, which I'll maybe mention at the end once we've all started talking about it. But there was some really, really great things I liked. Like, just the visual of that scene of Batman and Red Robin having that, like, not heart to heart, but that discussion in a kid's bedroom. Can you imagine being fast asleep and Batman's at the end of your bed talking to Robin randomly? So I thought it was really good that they were in this kid's bedroom and just having a chat. I thought was really funny. Just little things like when Batman and Red Robin are talking, and Red Robin mentions mentions Nightwing. There's two panels right next to each other. They're both Batman's face, and after he mentions Nightwing, Batman's mouth is so parched. His face is totally blank, but his mouth, it's like it really got a reaction out of him. I thought that was really, really good. The nanobot swarm. I mean, what was behind that? Do you have any theories as to who's behind the nanobot swarm, technology-wise? Is it like alien or?
I don't think we know at this point yet. It's still, I think the only person that does know right now is Red Robin, and he hasn't made mention of it. So at least far in the story, I can't place who would have that, because as we get farther into the series, we're starting to get a buttload of characters in these 4 books here that I wasn't expecting at all, and some aren't even really tied into the Batman universe. So at this point, it could be anybody.
Yeah. Well, one thing I thought was really interesting, I was going to question this. Once again, I don't have the book to hand. I'm just going from my notes. But one of the first shots of Red Robin, he's basically looking at hollow beds. Like all the kids are in beds, and they're not really there. It looks like a hologram, but he picks up a chart and reads a kid's chart. But there's no way they could have been in his nest. So I was just curious how that was meant to work. It was like he was spying on their hospital beds or something.
Creepy.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I took it. A couple times where he's looking at his wrist indicator, kind of reminds me of Young Justice, where he had a hologram put up, feeding into a computer somewhere, like a security camera that's kind of recreating it. But I do like it that Tim has his own little satellite nest, and Alfred makes a point that he has multiple throughout the city, and a cool moment that kind of shows you how much training Tim has. That Tim does the typical Batman move. When Batman comes into the room, Tim doesn't even turn around. He makes the acknowledgement of oh, I was wondering when you were going to show up.
Yeah, that was good.
That real cold, Bruce Wayne-esque type. Hey, I've been here the whole time kind of thing.
Yeah, it was really good. Harper Row as well. I've got very little experience with the character, and I thought she was quite a badass in the issue. The back and forth between her and Vicky was really quite funny as well. Vicky as well, she was really kind of spunky and very Lois Lane. She wasn't taking any crap from anyone. One of the funniest bits of the whole book for me was at the end when she questioned the gang member. She goes, "Can I borrow this?" And she gets the taser, and then a second later she pretty much knows everything. It was really, really great. It told you pretty much everything you need to know about her in New 52 in just that one panel. It's like she's the Batman of journalism,
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
I like the art in this issue. The art's really good. I love the Tim and Batman stuff. But
I was going to say I didn't really like the art in this issue.
I love the art. You're a jerk.
Any comments on this video? Comments?
No. I mean, I like it. I just don't like some of them. Some of the shading is like that. It's kind of like half-tony, but not, and it just kind of, I don't know. There's something weird about this art to me.
Yeah, Andy Clark.
I agree with the shading. I think the inking is taking a little bit away from the pencils in this. But I think the art overall, I didn't mind it.
Yeah, it was just a little weird.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay, and I do think the issue had a lot packed into it. There was a lot of story there. It kind of jumped all over the place. There was Batman in the room, and obviously the nanobot attack, and Vicky, and then Harper Row came in, and finishing with Maxwell. One thing, and I know we're going to discuss this in the other issues, but they are covering a lot of ground. I know I've seen a lot of reviews where they say this is really boring and nothing's happening. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of characters introduced, and I'm making notes, and all my notes are like, who's this guy? Who's behind the nanobots? Like questions that I don't know. And then there was
it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
it's a lot of stuff, but it's still boring. This issue was for me. I like the series, but this issue was the dog vomit of all of them so far.
Oh
wow!
Sorry.
Oh.
I love this
conversation
here. Yeah, I don't think I have anything intelligent to say. I totally lost my train of thought during the dog. Yeah. Now I know what it was going to be. I think we're going to get, like Stu said, who's this, who's that, and probably 17 issues from now, we're going to get a lot of the answers to this. I think they're going to make us kind of go back to some of these and go, oh, that's who Maxwell is, or that I can't believe I didn't pick up on the nanobite thing. So like Olivia said, I think the last time we did this, there's going to be some low lull spots in these, and they're going to have to do a lot of setup, especially if they're talking
Issue 5.
50, 55, or 60 some odd issues. We won't be off to the races a while, probably till issue 20 or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it was an okay issue. As I said, it's very rare because I've not been reading a lot of comics lately. I'm going to really start getting into Doomed and all the Superman stuff again. So it's been a nice introduction to just sit there on the couch one night. My wife's watching TV and I'm just sitting there. And I did it the wrong way. I think I should have read it all the way through and then made notes. But as I said, as I was going through it page by page, I was making notes as I was going, which isn't the way you're meant to read comics. But yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed the series so far. I loved it. As I said, we'll talk about these 4 issues. I thought I like that I'm reading them in 4-issue blocks. If I was reading individually, I would definitely lose a lot of the story. If you're having to wait an entire week, like I've already forgotten a lot of stuff from the first 3. They're so dense with characters. Like there's a character coming up in a future issue, and I didn't know who he was. I now know because I went back and read. But I don't know if that's going to work against them that they're introducing so many things in a 60 issue. That you're going to forget what happened 27 issues ago, and I just hope they start answering some questions a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Keep it interesting.
Any other comments on 5 before we hit 6?
I mean, you guys pretty much said it. I thought it was a good issue. I mean, like you guys said, there's gonna be slow points. There has to be. I mean, you can't. It can't be fast. There's gonna be 60 of these. There's gonna be a lot of slow ones, and there's gonna be faster paced issues as well. But I like it. You know what I mean? It's keeping me motivated to want to continue the series.
Yeah, me too.
Plus, it's bringing a lot of different characters in. Like, I mean, I like that Vicky Vale plays a good portion in this series, but especially in this issue, I like that because you don't really see a lot of that.
Yeah, it's quite worrying that she's going to be investigating Falcone as well, or Falcone. That's not going to end up well. I anticipate her tied up in not long, and Batman's got to save her. But yeah, and the other thing, if we're going on to issue 6 quite soon, they're really different issues. Each issue is complete. Like this next issue, issue 6, is like night and day from issue 5 and the themes and stuff that it covers.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
I would have liked a little bit more Falcone. Like what's going on with him? I mean, he's here bits and pieces, but for the most part, I'd like to see a little bit more of him. I mean, I'm sure we will in the future, but
he's like a puppet master at this point, isn't he? He's just kind of pulling strings here and there, and
it's a different Falcone from before. It's not. This isn't the same guy. You can tell. Yeah. He's got a higher up like this. You know he's answering to somebody else, but
oh yeah, it talks about that and like like the last issue, the one that came out this week. They're like, who does he work for? And there's some guy in the shadow or something.
Yeah. So.
All right, we'll jump on to 6 then. This one, as I was going through my notes, I reread them really quick before we went on, but for some reason I'm blanking on 6. But my notes here, we have the first appearance of the Gentleman Ghost in here, which was
awesome.
Kind of cool to see. And Batwing makes his very first appearance.
Awesome.
Phosphorus Rex.
Yeah, exactly. We have mention of a spink. See, I almost said it. Sure, Ellen. I love my notes. Where Jim Corrigan is going to talk to Bruce Wayne, and if I remember that right, he knows who Batman is.
Yeah, he does.
So.
Oh yeah.
Who doesn't in a New 52?
Yeah. And how do people know that Dick's not alive or dead? But anyway, then we have
Batwing too.
Yeah, we have Batwing in here, which I thought was really cool. I'm digging Fox's suit for the Batwing. I didn't care.
I love that suit.
Yeah, that's really good. It's a very Batman Beyondish a little bit, which I think is kind of cool.
Iron Man as well.
Yeah, very yeah.
A little bit of Black Panther in there.
Black Panther.
Yeah,
excellent. And I like how they wrote him that he's he's still really new at it. I think Gentleman Ghost calls him the rookie, I think, at some point in here, so I think that's pretty cool. Then the creepy doctor in Arkham taking people down into the dungeons and or the bottom layers of the city, and we get to see the Joker's daughter, which we can talk about that, how people feel about the Joker's daughter.
I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Is that the Joker's face she's wearing?
Yes, it is. The Joker's
That's gross, man. That's nasty.
and,
That stink. Can you imagine what that would smell like?
yeah,
like dog
that
vomit.
would be
Yeah.
dog vomit, yeah. Then we have Corrigan and Batwing investigating what's going on in Arkham City. Falcone, Professor Pig, and is that the Spectre that is inside of the chemical van that he rigs to explode as Batman's coming up?
That was
behind
Phosphorus. That was Phosphorus.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I didn't
See, actually, when I was first reading that, you know what I thought it was? Because I thought it was Derek Powers from Batman Beyond. Remember, he had that
Oh, yeah.
same look.
Yeah.
I was like, is this Derek Powers? Didn't you think it was interesting? This was the first issue that had a tagline. It had a cover title. None of the rest have had it up to this point. It said, Issue 6, A Spectre Lurks in the Shadow of Arkham.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
None of the others have that. No,
Yeah.
there's a couple after this that have it, but it only appears in a couple of issues, so I don't know if that's a conscious decision. Don't you think it was a really supernatural issue? It was
Very
so-
supernatural.
Yeah.
Just, with the Spectre and obviously with
Gentleman Ghost.
Gentleman Ghost, yeah, exactly. With regards to Batwing, it was good to see, obviously, that, as you said, he was a bit like a rookie, and he was a novice, and Batman had to kind of take him under his wing and stuff. But it was a total departure from the nanobots the last issue, wasn't it? Really technological episode, and then it was.
This issue really picked it up, though. There was a lot more action in this one, and it was much darker than issue 5 too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The relationship with Jim Corrigan and Batman was fantastic. He turns up in Batman, he's like, obviously, no need for the cowl. And it was great to see.
Yeah.
The last time we saw him was the subway station. Remember when we weren't sure if it was him or not, the side view?
Yeah.
But as I said, I don't know how Falcone's tying into all this whole thing and the supernatural side of things, but it would be interesting if he was in league with like a supernatural villain, maybe somebody. I'm trying to think who it could be. But yeah, Joker's daughter, I thought that was so random that she was there. What was up with those arms? All the arms everywhere.
They were like
Yeah,
dead
it was.
arms. She had like those. I think those are chopped up arms because there's like blood everywhere.
Yeah. And then she said the interesting thing was she said we have to bring the man back. Was she talking about resurrecting Joker maybe?
Probably. Plus, you see like there's Maxie Zeus with like a one-armed lady. Kind of weird.
And Maxie's only got one arm as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was quite interesting. Maxie Zeus with one arm. The Spectre and Batwing was a really nice pairing, I thought. Didn't you
I
think?
really liked that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Because
good.
Batwing said that he didn't believe in any of this stuff at the beginning of the episode, and suddenly he's standing next to the Spectre,
Right.
like a tech-savvy non-believer paired with a keeper of a divine spirit kind of thing, Although, I know there's not really much that I had to talk about the episode. I know that obviously, the characters were really good and stuff, and it was a reveal of Joker's daughter. I found the ending to be a little lackluster. It was basically just that trailer blowing up in front of the Batmobile. I had no doubt in my mind that the Batmobile was going to be fine, or Batman was going to be. It just didn't seem. I don't know what was in those drums. I think they revealed in a later episode what it was. I just can't remember what it was in those. Oh, it was Professor Pig's stuff, wasn't it? It was like.
Yeah.
No, okay. But yeah, it was okay.
That was my least favorite out of them. And
What?
going. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, there was a lot going on, but I guess the ending of it had me leaving more because the ending going into 7 didn't really kind of make sense. It's unless I missed something. It's like the explosion happens in front of the Batmobile, and then we kind of jump right into Professor Pig's warehouse with the Dollatrons. So did the trailer explode in front of
Well,
the?
they show Batman like on a car and there's burning in the background. He saved that guy. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think the explosion happened in front of Professor Pig's place. Because that's where Batman's headed.
You know what? That's deliberate. Remember, it's revealed in a later issue that they pretty much sacrificed Pig's warehouse as a diversion for what's going to happen to Penguin.
Oh, that's right.
So what they did was they drove the truck in front of Pig's place, blew it up so Batman would go there, and of course the main plot was to deal with the what do you call it, the Iceberg Lounge, yeah. But yeah, that's obviously primarily on Eternal 7 though, isn't it? There was a couple of things about Eternal. I don't know. We're moving on to Eternal 7. Did anyone else have anything to say about 6?
I like 6. That's my favorite.
I like the art in 6.
Me too.
Yeah.
You're talking about that. It's like a very cartoony style, like you're watching a cartoon.
Yeah.
I like how Batman explains to Batwing that about Gentleman Ghost, and he says, "I hit him with the nth metal. Don't ask me why that drives him away, but it does." That's so funny. Yeah, it just does it. Who cares?
Yeah, it's typical Batman. He doesn't really know how it works, but he has everything in that utility belt. He didn't know Gentleman Ghost was going to be there. He just had nth metal in his utility belt. Just
Yeah, exactly.
Probably got kryptonite.
It's like Hawkgirl gave it to him or something. Like, here,
Right.
this'll solve that problem.
Oh, thanks.
Brilliant.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Ready for 7 here?
7 was another episode that had the title at the beginning. It was called Sinking of the Empire. I must just very briefly, I love the cover image. I don't know how much time you spent looking at it, but obviously it's Oswald Cobblepot swimming. But if you notice, he's still got his cigarette above the water and he's still smoking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So he's like swimming for his life, but his cigarette's sticking above the top
Yeah.
and it's still got smoke.
I just licked this thing. These cost $400.
These cost $10 a pack.
They're
But,
imported from Cuba.
One of the things that I liked was that obviously it started right after the last issue, and but weird things. It took me. I had to read this about 2 or 3 times before I actually understood visually what was happening. Like the Batmobile has a medical bed that hangs out the side of the cockpit, and he drives
What is
around.
up with that?
I see. I didn't.
In what situation would Batman ever have a medical bed outside the side of the Batmobile as he's driving with someone on a drip?
That is so weird. I thought that was weird.
Old motorcycles with the sidecar.
Yeah, exactly. And did you not think it was really? Yeah, that was another thing I didn't really get. Was the part where the truck driver in one panel says, "Thanks, I promise not to tell anyone," and Batman says, obviously that he won't remember. What was he not going to tell anyone? Because if you look at all the panels before, nothing happens. I thought he maybe saw Bruce's face or he heard someone say Master Wayne. But he says, "Thanks, I promise not to tell anyone," but there's nothing in the issue to explain what that's talking. Did any of you get that?
Yeah, I had the same note here. So I'm disappointed you can't answer it, Stu, because I can't answer it.
Yeah, there was just that, and also the bike ejecting from the Batmobile was just out of the Dark Knight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious that Batman ejected out, and this poor guy's attached to a bed on the Batmobile, and it's driving on autopilot. It's on autopilot with this guy hanging out the side.
See, I didn't know if that came out, if that was the passenger seat of the Batmobile that kind of lifted and came out and became the medical bed. Maybe I'm reading too much into it.
No, maybe. It just visually didn't make any sense. It's one of those things that the Batmobile just wouldn't have.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Oh, no, why? Okay, I understand. This makes sense. What he's doing is he wasn't really driving with him outside. He ejected him so he could pop out in his motorcycle.
But what was he doing? Just sitting on the bed? He had a drip on him, didn't he?
No, the bed was the passenger seat, and as you can see, the arm's extending out, and it kind of is on a swivel.
Okay.
And the guy's sitting there, and then you see Batman popping out in his motorcycle.
And then what happens to the guy?
I don't know. They don't
Out. He's got nachos later.
I just have visions of him saying Batmobile back to cave, and this poor guy's like, ah.
They didn't say what happens to him after that.
But this picture here, I don't know if you can see it, but this picture here, it looks like he's, like Stu said, is just hanging out of the Batmobile.
Yeah, and he's got an oxygen mask on his mouth, so he is getting treatment. I have visions, the Batmobile goes back to the cave, and Alfred comes down, and there's just some guy there looking at him, shrugging his shoulders, like, hi.
I won't tell anybody. Well, and I would think with as much as Batman sometimes ends up getting all bloodied and bruised and stuff, that he might have a medical facility if he's able to crawl back to the Batmobile to kind of, take care of him, as it were. So I don't know. If Batman has everything else in his utility belt, he can have a crap ton more in the Batmobile. So
Yeah.
I'm forgiving of it.
I must admit, just after that, I didn't know what was going on with the Dolatrons. I was really confused as to who they were. I mean, I'd kind of forgotten about the Dolatrons from the previous issue, and I was like, who are all these people with the masks? And I thought they were all Pig, and I didn't really know. I read it and I understand now, but I always wondered, obviously I had to look up Dolatrons after I read the issue, and I saw that it doesn't ever mention if they can ever go back to being normal again after he does whatever he does to them. I thought that was quite interesting. And they were all just in a tractor trailer waiting to jump out.
Well, the Dolatrons are from the Batman and Robin Grant Morrison run.
Oh, okay.
That's where they were featured in the graphic novel with when Dick Grayson was Batman. They were featured in that with Professor Pig, and then they brought him back for this, I think.
Yeah.
They were in a couple other issues. I'm not sure if they can go back after. I'm pretty sure they go nuts.
Yeah, I think one of the first Dolatrons end up pairing up with Jason Todd in the Grant Morrison run, and she was forever disfigured. So.
Yeah.
And didn't you think it was funny that Penguin had a henchman who was called Fishnet Face? That was straight out of the '60s Batman show. Come here, Fishnet Face.
We finally get an African American in Batman comic that's a bad guy, and he got fishnets on his head. Come on, man. Brother, a chance. Give him a cool character.
Fishnet Face. It's one of the worst names I think I've ever heard. It's really poor. But it's kind of typical '60s Penguin, though. It was pretty brutal when Penguin slashed his face with his blade, with his umbrella as well. There was blood everywhere.
Yeah, flesh, it says.
And also Catwoman versus Penguin. I thought that was a really interesting thing. Obviously, I thought it was really interesting that might be the start of her taking down all the crime families. Not taking them down, but obviously, you know what happens to Penguin, and there's no more casino, and then suddenly she shows up with a casino in issue 0. So I think it's interesting that whatever bad is happening to all the crime in Gotham, she's going to profit from it somehow.
Yeah.
I think she makes mention that between Penguin and Falcone having their little war, people are going underground, and now that both sides are trying to pull the people from underground, that's where she's getting upset. So I think, like you said, Stu, this is setting her up for, there's a whole bunch of people underground, maybe that's where she needs to go, and I think that's how she's going to rise into power to becoming the new crime lord of Gotham.
Build an army kind of thing, yeah. What about, did anyone know who Rhodes was? He works for Falcone and he can run at super speed. He's this black guy with like metal legs. Who was that guy?
I have no idea. I thought
he's,
that was the first appearance of Wally West.
Yeah, well, he's only in it. I mean, obviously, this will be covered in the next issue, but he's only in it for like an issue or two, and then he's gone, he's dead. And it was like, they never explained who is this guy that can run at super speed, and he just runs from a table to a window. And it was such a weird introduction. So I was hoping you guys would say, oh, that's Rhodes, who's been in 50 issues. But no, he's not. I don't think he's been in anything. They just introduced this speedster with metal legs, and then he's gone.
Yeah, another African-American guy who only gets that much screen time.
You see, if he had fishnets and metal legs, I could have lived with it.
Oh, my rights here.
What did you think, Olivia?
I'm just trying to keep up with you guys talking about it, like trying to flip through the pages, and I guess this issue just, I don't know. This is why I wanted to reread before the show, and I ran out of time.
A D for Olivia.
What do you guys know about Tiger Shark? I thought he was a pretty visually interesting. I've never seen him before as a character.
I like that.
Has he ever had a figure before, Tiger Shark?
Not that I know of. I thought that was going to be the DC Universe Classics next figure, but it was in the canceled way.
I must admit, when I first saw him, I thought he was Red Hood, because I just saw the red on the head, and I thought, is that Red Hood? But then I thought it was interesting that he turns up later in like a really cheap-looking suit. He's got like a cheap like plaid suit with the red mask. I looked him up, and apparently he's just super intelligent. He doesn't, he's like Black Mask. He doesn't have any powers. He just has like a mask. And but it's good to use some kind of varied Bat villains in this. It seems like they're just introducing. I wouldn't be surprised if Solomon Grundy's in the next issue for something. But wasn't it hilarious that Penguin uses peng cams, and it was the Penguin?
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
It was brilliant. And one of the penguins is called Commander Wilhelm. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
And poor
This is
Commander
some
Wilhelm gets
strange
eaten by a he gets eaten by a whale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And later on, he's like, "Come in, Commander Wilhelm, come in."
Well, at first I didn't realize. I thought he was talking to like a human henchman as Commander Wilhelm. I read it again and go, that's the penguin's name. Cool, crazy.
It was straight out of Batman Returns as well. The penguin with like the robotic head with the eyepiece, and it was brilliant.
See, all that's missing is that woman sitting in the thing going, "There's a shiny black stuff."
Oh, that was so crap. And then at the end, when like the plan goes bad, she just like disappears into the blackness. She bails. But she was like 10 minutes.
Out of here.
It was the only kind of radar that worked two-dimensionally. You saw a side view of the duck in Batman Returns. It was so crap. What else? I mean, oh yeah, wasn't it funny that Penguin thought he saved Gotham? Like really misguided and deluded and stuff.
Yeah, he's crazy.
And I like how in this issue, Catwoman is very, very slowly skirting that line between good and bad. She ends up going in to fight, Penguin, while his casino's going down, but she ends up saving everybody, but still has that. I think, like I said, these are the seeds of her going into the underground and doing all that stuff. So, like Alfred makes a comment where Batman says, well, we saved as many people as we could, and Alfred's like, we? He said, well, I had a little help, from Catwoman or whatever. So I think this is going to be a huge power shift for the Penguin, now having completely lost his casino at being under the bottom of the ocean. And then the next issue, we see who's trying to salvage from the bottom of the ocean. So it's going to be really kind of interesting to see what happens to the Penguin since he's basically lost everything. So that's all my intelligent notes I got.
But one of the things I didn't like, there was a mini cliffhanger in the book where Pig aims his like change you into a Dollatron device at Batman, and he basically says like oink oink, and then Batman's getting hit by it, and then it cuts away. When it cuts back, Batman's totally just fine. Nothing happened. There was no payoff to that.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like a classic serial, where Batman's going off the cliff in one episode, and when it cuts back, he jumped out before he went over the cliff kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looked like this big thing. I was like, oh god, Batman's going to get turned into a Dollatron or have a pig nose or something, It cut back and nothing had happened. He just threw something at the guy.
See, at first I thought it was like a see and say, like where the cow goes moo.
Yeah.
Or the fox goes.
That device, I didn't know what that device was. I was assuming you guys had seen it before. I'm guessing it turns you into a Dollatron. That seemed to be what it was doing or controlling them.
Yeah.
Batman. Batman headbutting it was great though, when it just said the pig goes oink. Just that was really good.
All right, then we'll go to our final issue, number 8, and we have Falcone. After having blown up Penguin's iceberg casino, is going to send somebody down to salvage what they can from it, the money and loot and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's kind of interesting that Batman is there, probably not to protect Penguin stuff, but to make sure Falcone doesn't get it. So I thought that was kind of cool that he's still not helping Penguin, but he's trying to basically save his own butt to make sure Falcone doesn't get any more money and weapons just from Penguin's misfortune. Something I thought was pretty cool here, and a note that my wife wrote, this is what she wrote. Bullock does not like Forbes' Sans Cape initiative. We didn't mention it in the last one, but Batman is doing his typical, round up the bad guys, tie them up, and Commissioner Forbes is like, no, we're not having any part of it. Gordon was weak. He should have been working with Batman. So every crook that Batman is leaving for the police, he is telling all his detectives to set them free. So we see at the last issue that Professor Pig was out, very soon, and even the guys here in this issue, they're setting them free right away. So go ahead.
Wasn't that ludicrous that Major Forbes, this was in the last issue, he just let Pig go? I mean, what an idiot. Oh, even if Batman did catch him, he was still an Arkham escapee. Forget who caught him. He had escaped from a mental institution. It's like,
just let him go.
Yeah, I'll just let you go back. But obviously he works for Falcone, and Falcone wants as much chaos as possible. I think it reminded me of like a Nightfall situation where they're kind of wanting to run Batman ragged with as many villains as possible, and because, well, you know how it ends up, Batman tied to the Watchtower or to the Bat Signal, you know, so I'm guessing something bad's going to happen to him. But yeah, I just thought it was, Forbes is such an idiot. I did think the Bat Sub was pretty cool. Wasn't it great that they dive down and Batman's down there, and suddenly the next line is, dive team, do you copy? And there's silence. Like, I don't know. Yeah,
I thought it would have been cool to have one little panel of dive team as you there, and you just see like a scuba tank just slowly rising with no.
That would be brilliant.
I love the next few panels there where he's just like beating the shit out of these. He's like intimidating and scaring the shit out of those thugs.
Yeah, wasn't that cool? I think that was page 4. If you look at the far top left of page 4, there's a really cool silhouette of the Batplane. It looks totally different. Obviously, we see it later on in the issue, but it's really angular and pointed. And that montage of him taking on the criminals, I love that the far right one, you have to turn your head on the side to see that it's the Bat. You know, it's the Batmobile chase. I thought that was a good touch visually. But even a minor thing about the designs of the things, I love that all the vehicles have bright red cockpits. The Batwing, the Bat-Sub, the Batmobile, they've got that bright red cockpit. It's really and inside it's bright red like Batman Beyond. I thought that was a nice touch visually, that whenever he's driving in the Batmobile, it's bright red inside.
Rather than it being all black on black.
Yeah.
Who's driving that thing?
wasn't and as you said, as your wife said about Bullock, I love the way that he hates Forbes so much. You know, he can't disobey his orders, and he says, "What is it? Let them find their own way to get untied."
Right.
He'd been there for like 12 hours getting that bat rope cut. I can imagine them all shuffling in a group down the street, all 4 of them still tied together.
Tied up like the. I said it reminded me of like the Monkeys TV series where they're all tied up together. They got to find a way to, walk. Bad reference. People probably don't know who the Monkeys are.
Wasn't it funny when that guy finally does get untied and he goes to see Falcone, and he obviously explains that Forbes is, kind of putting everyone back on the street, and Falcone seemed really mad at that. And it was hilarious when he said, "Get rid of him." And Tiger Shark says, like, "Get rid of him," and he's like, "No, get him to leave. He doesn't want to kill him."
Oh yeah, that was funny.
It reminded me of that scene in Pulp Fiction, like Jules and Vincent, where he says he's to get rid of Marcellus' wife, and he goes, "Get rid of him."
Yeah.
Cool. But and that was the other thing. Carmine Falcone in Hong Kong. The second I heard that, I thought, God, that reminds me just the Dark Knight. I wonder if Batman's going to go to Hong Kong and get Mr. Lau. Same sort of situation as Dark Knight.
Yeah.
What was cool in this one was that Bruce didn't have to hire a charter plane. He just took the Batwing. Brilliant.
Yeah. Something like something I like here. It's kind of like two-part. Alfred and Bruce having the conversation down in the Batcave. That something is definitely going on inside the GCPD, and then against Alfred's better wishes, Bruce decides he's going to go meet Forbes on the top of the rooftop. And as much as I think we were talking about Jason Bard not being able to be trusted, Batman shows up, and Bard actually, I think, has the D Squad fire on Batman, but it's the rubber bullets and things like that that he allows Batman to escape. I think there's a panel, if I'm remembering right, where he's got his gun pointed at Batman and then kind of like lifts it.
Yeah, that's an awesome picture.
Batman's eye is brilliant. His eye is looking at him like, "What you going to do, punk?" And he just lifts his gun. It was a great scene, and it was great when he gets back to the Batcave and he basically just says that he looks like he's got more help in the GCPD. I'm glad he realised that. I hope that wasn't going to drag on, because when he first said he was going to investigate all the new police, I thought, oh, he's going to really start going after Bard, even though deep down Bard's a good guy. Saying that, you never know. It might be a red herring. Bard might be the big bad guy, but
that's true.
Yeah, it could be. But, I mean, he does seem like a really good cop, and I love that Bruce recognised that Gordon hired him for a reason. He trusts Gordon's judgment. Isn't it interesting that we've not went back to Gordon in, like, 4 or 5 issues? He's just been kind of... You saw him in, like, one panel later
Hanging out in jail cell.
Yeah. Also...
He looks just like Gordon, too.
Yeah, like a younger version. Almost reminds me of James Gordon Jr.
Yeah. I like the art in this. This is probably my favorite one for the art.
Yeah, me too.
I know it hasn't really changed that much, but throughout the rest of the series, everybody's pretty much been on the same last 4 issues. But I like the art the most, I think, in this one.
Yeah, and I like the way Bruce looked. Yeah, sorry, Olivia.
No, it's okay. I was agreeing. And yeah, Bruce does look really good. He looks like it's like a classic look.
Yeah.
One of the things that I thought was interesting, I'm just going back my notes here, was obviously Stephanie Brown. We never mentioned that she was in this issue, and she had a lucky escape. That poor guy in the hoodie who's like, get out the booth, and she leaves, and a second later he's sprayed. I like the way that they did it, and it was really it really kind of had me gripped. I know this was really corny, but I was reading, I don't read comics very often, it really worked well, where it cut to a shot of, what's the name of the cop again? The Bard. Bard was at the phone booth with Vicky Vale, and it was shot to pieces covered in blood, and the next frame cut to her in the same phone booth the night before, and I thought, well, how else is this going to end? You know what I mean? We've already seen it shot up full of blood, so I loved the way that they kind of had me guessing that she was going to be killed. I know she wasn't, but it was a really good touch.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. I've talked enough.
No, I was just gonna say I love the part where they throw in the pun. She could spoil everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I saw a review on this that somebody said, great, DC is bringing back one of their worst characters ever in Stephanie Brown. But hasn't it been in like 3 years people have been crying for Stephanie Brown in the New 52, and she is. I think it's great to have her back. I mean, yeah, she could be Batgirl, she was Robin and all this stuff, but I think she worked more effectively as Spoiler. So, and I like the twist, at least in the New 52, where it was only her dad being the Clue Master that was the problem, but now that her mother is in on it as well, I think
Clue Master.
She has no safe haven in her parents, and I could see where, you know, somebody maybe like Tim Drake would kind of like, you know, help her somehow. So I'm kind of curious to see.
I must admit, she's a good character, but she's no fishnet face. Let's put it that way.
Right.
No roads.
No, I'm hoping DC Collectibles is reading this and go, we need a fishnet. Fishnet. Say that 3 times real fast, and I'll give you a prize.
Fishnet face. Fishnet face. Fishnet.
What was the,
Worried. I thought, man, I'm gonna have to come up with a prize. You win, your face.
what was the very end again? Because you know what my note says? My note says interesting ending, but I neglected
Hong
to tell you
Kong.
what it was. Oh, that's right.
Hong Kong.
Yeah, cool shot of the Batwing flying over Hong Kong. The second I saw the map of Hong Kong in the Batcave when Bruce was training, I love the idea of Bruce going to another country, even just for a short mission. You know, he did that in Nightfall when he went to Britain, and when he had his back broken and stuff. So it's always good to see him. I don't think it was handled amazingly in Dark Knight. I liked that. Obviously, I liked them kidnapping Lau and how he did it, but I always hated the fact that he had to use like pirates to escape.
Yeah.
I just imagine, okay, so he's he gets pulled out the building, up to the plane. What does he do when he gets in the plane? He's just standing there. Oh, Batman, don't look at me. what was the conversation in that plane for 8 hours getting back to Gotham?
Well, they didn't speak any English. They didn't know what's going on. Oh, because there's South Koreans or North Koreans. When Batman, in this comic, Batman goes to Hong Kong, what does he do with the Batplane? It doesn't fly around for 8 hours. Or
well, he left it when he was attacking Falcone's crew. He just left it up in the sky. He just jump out, and also when he went to police headquarters, he just jump out and it stayed above him, hovering. So
forever? Because he's talking, having tea with that other Batman from Hong Kong or whatever, is it Gyro, whatever his name was.
I've not read that far.
Oh, that's. I'm sorry, I gave it away. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all right. I must admit though, it's like Batman. How do you fuel that plane? I'm Batman. Okay. He powers it with nth metal from his belt.
Oh,
that's true.
So did anybody else think or hope that this girl at the end was Cassandra Cain?
I was hoping it was, but
It was, yeah.
I was hoping too. Yeah.
What was that again? I don't remember that part.
The girl at the very end. She said,
"Who it is?
This is going to make things complicated." Where'd she go? There she is.
Where is she? Let's see. Oh no, it's Catwoman.
No.
No.
Not.
I read on.
I thought it was Catwoman.
No, it's a woman in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I thought Catwoman went to Hong Kong just after.
No.
That's what I thought too, but then I read on. I'm like, oh, that's not her.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought the same thing, and then I thought of the movie Batman and Robin.
I don't see what's wrong with Batman and Robin.
Whoa! And take him off the show. Take him off the show.
If I did this, and pulled out my credit card and went, "Oh, don't worry, I got it covered."
You're not sending me to the cooler. That's so crap.
Everybody freeze.
Utility belt, Bruce, not a change purse.
The worst thing about the whole movie was I thought Alfred making Batgirl's costume in the Batcave all on his own. Like, how did he know her measurements? He made that costume for her.
Well, it's so creepy.
Creepy old uncle.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost as bad as Batman Forever when what's his name? When the Riddler goes into the Batcave, it goes intruder alert, and it lifts all the Batmobile out. So when there's an intruder, it actually shows you the Batmobile and opens all the doors. Shouldn't the Batmobile have gone down?
Steal this.
Yeah, here, take everything.
I'll get charged to do. But yeah, I suppose. I mean, it was. I must admit, I've loved the last 4 issues. Okay, for me, I disagree with Jason slightly. I didn't really like the Supernatural one. It was okay. The art was good, and there was some good points. But I thought that I liked the Tim Drake one and the one with Penguin. One thing I forgot to mention about the Penguin issue, if you go back and look at 7. You know the scene where he's underwater and he's getting chased by the whale? If you look, he is going fast. They've got speed lines, and I thought it was really good that Penguin's swimming like 50 miles an hour underwater, because why wouldn't he? You know, he's obviously a lot more at home underwater, and he's going really fast getting away from that whale. I thought that was an interesting visual thing from issue 7.
Yeah.
With his cigarette in his mouth, of course.
Well,
Yes.
above water.
What other like D-list characters, like villains, would you guys like to see, like within the series?
Just who? I'm trying to think from Nightfall that I thought was really cheesy. Who was the guy? The Cavalier. That's basically like one of the 3 Musketeers, you know.
Yeah.
Don't forget Crazy Quill. I want to see Crazy Quill.
Oh yeah.
What about?
I want to see Great White Shark.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're really impressing Jason there. He's like, oh yeah, let's see that.
I'm trying to think. What about has Azrael been in New 52 at all? Jean Paul.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Is that a yes or no?
Has he?
No Jean Paul in the 52 yet.
Here's the thing I was going to ask you guys, and I was watching Captain Logan's, what is it called, his Comic Acquisitions, his latest one, and one of the things they were talking about, he and Superhero Enthusiast, was about how confusing U-52 is.
Yeah.
Like, basically, obviously they've completely forgotten certain things happened. You know, like Superman Doomsday. Superman never fought Doomsday before this. He never died. And so, but there's certain things that did happen. Like, obviously, Batman's got Robin, but yet, did he have his back broken? Did that actually happen, or did it not? They never. Do you not think they should have released like a timeline of what's meant to have happened and what's not happened?
They kind of did. Rob sent one to me, and
they have it. That I don't know where it is on the computer. I'll put it on the Rogue Show Facebook page when I can find it. Yeah. But they do have a timeline for Batman at least, and it does mention Nightfall in there and him getting his back broken. But in Swamp Thing #1 in the New 52, Swamp Thing talks about Superman having died. They don't say how, but
wow, that's a great comic. Put that in.
Yeah,
I know. See, the problem I've got with that is that, I mean, don't you get the impression from the Superman comics that he's really new to this, that he's only been around, like Action Comics, then 5 years? Is it 5 years between Action and Superman?
Yeah.
So he's only been around for 5 years, and in Superman, like issue 1, 2, 3, it seems that the public doesn't really know who he is yet. Surely if he'd had this massive Doomsday battle in Metropolis, and he would have had a statue erected in his honor for saving the planet instead. I don't know. I just think it's really quite muddled how New 52, you know, DC. Did you guys hear that rumor that they're potentially going to do like a crisis thing with regular continuity in DC, New 52 coming up soon?
Yeah, I read that. I think, who posted that? Olivia?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
DC Band-Aid or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing about that is, remember the first crisis they did, it was just because there was so much continuity problems that had happened. I think it would be really interesting if they did something similar. Obviously, it's not going to be Superboy punching reality this time, but even if Future's maybe the Mattel Superman Superboy figure, someone's hitting it against their wall so hard that reality changes. But no, I mean, I think Future's End might have something to do with it. You can imagine that having some. Yeah, can you imagine after it they just kind of totally keep some of the New 52 stuff, maybe change some of the other stuff, completely retcon it, just to keep it fresh and call it like, I don't know, the old, I don't know.
The newer 52.
They're gonna have to bring it back. Like, you can't just 86 the old continuity. You can't.
Yeah.
You have to bring that back because that's what everybody loved.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's
fix
what.
it, though.
I've had a feeling since the beginning of Future's End that's kind of where they're going with this, and I think that as Rob was saying, that they're going to make Batman Eternal 60 issues. It's probably to catch up with Future's End or meet so they end on the same date, because I know that they're saying the 3 weeklies are all ending like the same week or whatever. So it's probably going to end up being some sort of big change somehow. It's also interesting that. Yeah, it's also interesting that they've kept on all the comics, however many years it's been now, they all still say the New 52 on it. Yeah. Like, why would they keep doing that if it's going to be the permanent continuity?
Rub it in our face.
Wouldn't it be annoying though if you think about all the figures that they've probably started planning? Like, there's no doubt in my mind. You know, obviously Superman's becoming Doomsday and Doomed now. I think they're calling him Super Doom. I heard that, and I don't know if I like that. Super Doom. I know. But you know, there's no doubt in my mind that right now they've already made the figure, or they've already started producing this figure for Super Doom. You can imagine it'll be like a big DC Collectibles big thing with Superman's costume with the Doomsday body, and if they were to get rid of New 52 and you were still having New 52 figures coming out for years after it had ended, it would be pretty annoying.
It would be tragic for DC Collectibles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and it might be interesting too that they may keep some New 52 stuff. I think Batman and Green Lantern were the only 2 real universes that they kept pretty much intact. That not much has changed. So, one of the, I can't find it right now. I was trying to look for it. In one of the issues of Batman Eternal, they have the double-page spread of Future's End, whatever it's called. Yeah, that's right, Future's End. In one of the top corners, they have Tim Drake Robin coming down, and he's in his old continuity costume.
Right.
Wow.
Which he never wore in the New 52. So. Maybe them bringing some of that stuff back around.
That would be great. I mean, I think it really does shake it all up, and there are some characters you've got to admit don't really work in New 52, whether it's character designs that have not really taken off, or, you know, the public just hasn't warmed to them. I mean, I think, and going back to Superman, as I often do, I like his new suit. I'm so used to his new costume now, that I think if it does go back to the classic, it'll take a bit of time to get used to it. Well, I've pretty much got, I've got a lot that's in the old costume. It's not going to be that hard, but I do like the new suit, and I think it would be a shame if it goes. This was something I've had a problem with, is the design, just going back years to when New 52 started. I think it was a mistake getting Jim Lee to design them all, because the suits, we've talked about this before, but they're too similar. You know, Batman and Superman have the exact same ab section with those diamond ab points. What are the odds that a Kryptonian battlesuit from thousands of years ago would have the same design as Bruce? You know,
Yeah.
And he had that suit long before Superman put his costume on. You know, he still had his Action Comics thing. So I don't know. That was just a slight problem I had. It's more with Batman's design than Superman's, I suppose.
Mine was. It took me quite a while to warm up to Red Robin. I absolutely hated Red Robin's New 52 outfit for the longest time. Yeah. But now I really kind of like the outfit. It's really kind of warmed on me. So it'd be one of those things if they retcon that and go back to the hood and or the full cowl mask, which was cool. I liked that one.
I love that look.
I'm one of those.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
No.
Come back!
And he's sitting at home going, no!
He's got a skull and crossbones.
What's that, Rob? I can't hear you. What?
What? You're going to send me all your action figures?
Oh!
I for some reason haven't been able to see Rob for the past hour now, so I have no idea. I don't know. I hit a button or something and he's gone, so I don't even know what's happening right now.
Did you do it? Did you kick him?
Let's see if we're still live. Let me look at it.
I could hear him. The main video screen for me is done. It's not showing anyone. I don't know.
No?
I don't know what I did.
I'm clicking the link right now, see if we're still live.
It says live in the top right corner of the box.
alive.
Just error.
Who is loving the show right now?
I am.
Let's see how many comments we have.
Yeah, do we have any comments?
Yeah,
We could
do we?
answer some comments.
Comment. Oh, we got 11 comments.
Woo.
Wait, really?
Whoa!
Yeah. Your show sucks. Oh, thank you. No,
Seriously?
no.
No. Oh wow, we really do have comments. Look at
There's a
that.
lot. There's
Oh.
Oh,
Hi,
Jamie
guys.
Evans. Jamie
Oh,
Evans. Jamie Evans.
It's Chapman Ranger.
Oh, Rob's left.
Oh, Rob's gone. Rob's gone. Rob's back.
Hey, Hyro. I just noticed that
I-
Hyro sent me my Facebook message.
Oh, yeah, Hyro.
Hi,
Hyro
Hyro.
commented too.
Hyro. Heroes Workbench. Jamie Evans. But that's it. They just been talking.
I still can't see anyone. Is Rob back?
No.
Oh.
Roberto. Oh, Roberto. I'm just looking at this Unleashed Doomsday, and it's just making me angry.
No, I know. It's so cool. Is it
It's
that,
so
is it that,
annoying.
is it that picture that has the two of them next to the new 52 Superman, and they're towering above him?
Yeah.
So
They make the
that's-
box so nice. You don't want to open them out of the box, so.
Yeah, no, I'd
Yeah,
want to
that,
get two.
box, that packaging's really nice. It's
I
so
love-
nice that they're only $35. I thought it was gonna be like 50.
That's another stupid thing. They made it so cheap. Surely, if they'd made it $10 more, they could have afforded to make the Unleashed one and still make profit.
Yeah, that's smart. They should have done that.
Like when you really think about it, there's not even that much sculpting on that other figure.
Just
Like,
bones.
I mean, he's got the protrusions coming out of his legs and like out of his. The big piece is the piece on his back, but that's pretty much it. Like the boots are the same as the bound. Pretty much the whole body is the same that they're using. I just don't.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at-
How does those
look at-
bones fit in there?
It took more tooling to make the bound one than the Unleashed.
Yeah. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, the bound one is cool. I must admit, though, I do think the bound one is maybe a touch too big. You talked about it on your review, Anthony.
Yeah.
And I do think that the ones that we got, the customs, are probably the perfect size. I'm
Yeah,
not
they
complaining. I'm not complaining. A big Doomsday is good, but I think it's maybe just a touch too big.
Oh my gosh. I can't see Stu
Bigger
now
than
either.
Darkseid.
You can't see what, sorry?
I can't see you, Stu. I can't.
Aw.
All I see is Jason and Anthony out in the little boxes.
That's all that matters.
Can you guys see me?
I see you.
Oh,
I
okay.
see you. I see everybody.
Rob just said, "Can you see me?" No.
Oh, that's
Nope.
what he wrote, yeah. Well, maybe we should sign off now. Thanks for watching. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I don't. Is it? I just don't.
According to YouTube, we've been on for 2 hours and 26 minutes.
Woohoo!
Oh, show.
This is the all 24 hours Rob's Rogue Show.
Oh my God! Look at this limited edition Robin figure. It's only available for 4 minutes on eBay. If only Rob was here.
Awkward moments.
Yeah, I know. Let's talk about something. What we're going to talk about?
Okay. Oh, I finally got the fucking Thunderbolts 5-pack.
How much
really?
did you pay?
130.
Oh, that's not bad. Good for you.
Who's in
The
the
flaws.
5-pack?
Finally, it took me over a year to find it, but.
Who's in the 5-pack? Is it Zemo or who's in it?
Oh, it's Luke Cage. It's the Ghost. Santana. Crossbones and Moonstone. Moonstone.
Moonstone?
Yeah, Moonstone. Yeah.
Okay.
I look all good because I got that Marvel Select Juggernaut, so I can use that with my setup, and I have Man-Thing, so I got the whole team.
Okay, that sounds good. For 130, that sounds pretty good. Like, that's a good deal.
Yeah, because people are charging like $200 for that thing. I'm like, it's not worth $200. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What's
Wait,
Rob saying?
is Rob saying he wants us to end the show?
Rob's basically.
No,
Yeah, man.
without you.
It just got good. No.
Wait,
Back. Just said
Is my-
join the group chat.
Oh, I see Stu again!
Hi.
Hi.
Hey,
I see Rob.
Wait, can you see me? Is my video working?
Rob's back.
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm
I don't
back.
see myself.
Rob.
Is Rob here?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Then you
here.
join the chat.
Geez, I don't know what happened.
There
I
it
must
is.
have-
Rob? Oh wait, is his video working?
Yeah.
I can't see Rob.
Okay, everyone sign off now. Rob's here.
All right, gotta go. See you later.
Bye.
Well, thanks for watching. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I was going through and clicking things, and it just kind of like half froze, but it still looked like it was working. So I was typing, going, watch, everybody's, I thought, hope I didn't pick my nose while this was going on, like, oh, it's not working. So I don't know. But hopefully this, I think Google is smart enough to run this feed together, or it's going to do it in one long video and then one like little tiny chunk. So I'm not sure where you guys were, so I'll let you.
Oh, okay.
We were just chatting about figures.
Yeah.
I think we were still online, so, and because I'm watching it here, I'm watching us, and I didn't see you there for a while, Rob. So
Okay. So
Yeah, we're still live.
I think,
It's live.
yeah, I think as long as I don't close the window completely, it'll stay. So
don't
Has anyone else got any new pickups recently?
I got a Toyota and a Chevy pickup yesterday.
See, I don't know what that is over here. We don't have pickups over here.
What?
do you? Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have pick downs?
I have a beard on my beard. I got a beard on my beard.
Other than their duck dynasty guy, duck calling, making whistle blowing things.
So back to the question. Pickups.
My pickups have been supporting Mattel's 3 3/4 line.
Ooh.
I picked it up to go with. Thank you. I picked it up to go with the Red Robin figure that I got from China, since the China sellers do this.
Oh yeah. There is no
I
doubt
don't know
in
what he
my
did.
mind that this Bizarro
I
figure.
stuck it down the shirt.
Yeah, I
This
put the figure
Bizarro
down my
figure was
shirt.
on a conveyor belt, and the guy just went. Because it smells like Chinese chest. That's all I'm going to say.
Gross.
But no, seriously, one of the things is I've not done reviews for like a month. My office is getting renovated just now. We got new windows and they tore the wallpaper and I'm having to get that fixed. So like all my statues are still not here, so I can't really do reviews because my review space is a mess. But I've got so much stuff to catch up on. Anyway, I just thought I'd say that. Oh, I love the Halo. How?
It won't let me do that.
Hey, Anthony, did you see the hand shot first 2-pack that they're releasing for Star Wars? I put on the chat.
Yeah. I wish. It's the Cantina.
But yeah, you know what's great is that it doesn't really matter about the figures. That would be cool just to keep it boxed like that. That's a great.
Oh, yeah.
sort of
Yeah,
idea.
they make the box too nice. You
I know.
can't take them out.
Although the only thing I don't like is that Greedo has his gun out. He shouldn't even have his gun out, and Han should be shooting. You know.
Not movie accurate.
Yeah. What did you guys think of the Millennium Falcon picture? How cool was that?
I like
That's
it.
great.
I'm thinking
I
the
like it a lot.
what is it? Is the Jabba the Hutt? They come with the 2 speeders, right? Or is it just 1 speeder?
Once. What was that? No, he doesn't come
It's
in.
supposed to be a big box set with Jabba the Hutt and they show a picture of 2 speeders, but I'm not
No,
sure.
I think they're separate. I think they're separate exclusives. They don't come with Jabba. He comes in like a throne room box, doesn't he?
Because
Yeah,
somebody
he
said,
does.
I think it was like Bug Nice. He said like, oh, they're gonna come together or something.
Because that's really random to have 2 speeder bikes in Jabba's palace.
I know. Well, they were getting drive-through. I mean,
Silly crumb. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the Black Series. There's some really cool figures coming. That we were looking at Chewbacca and Sand Trooper, Vader with a helmet that comes off.
Vader,
It's a
yeah.
strong wave.
that whole wave is really good. It's a strong wave.
I just hope they don't do something weird like have Mon Mothma or something.
No,
Really...
that's my favorite. We used to pretend. We used to fight when we were kids. Okay, we're gonna play Star Wars outside. I want to be Mon Mothra. And we would have fist fights.
Your head in there.
Well,
It's like, who was what was the name of that weird admiral? He was next to Mon Mothma. He had the weirdest hairdo and beard that was just like...
That was General
Gen-
Nate.
General Nadine, that's right. Yeah, good memory. He had the weirdest hair. Like, it was anyway. That I always just remember that guy's hairdo.
I think that was the guy that's like, we're gonna get the wino in the universe to be the general. So he's like, so we got the Death Star. Can I get a fifth of scotch before I talk?
Oh, funny. I'm trying to think what else has been happening lately, collection-wise.
Yeah, I was just telling. I don't know if you were on before we started, but I was saying that when I picked up the 89 Batman, the Michael Keaton, that there are a ton of General Zods on the Walmart store shelves. I bet there's at least 15 or 16 General Zods and maybe a couple Batman and then Bane and a couple others. But they're really forcing General Zod. He's going to be a big peg warmer.
Yeah, I could tell. I've actually, Richard's sending me one just now. It's in a package. It's got a couple other things in it, and I'm really looking forward to getting it. I know it's General Zod and stuff. It's the old version, but there's so few figures of Terrence Stamp as Zod. I'm actually amazed they didn't put Superman out in this wave.
Same here.
Because you think you'd want to get that out as soon as, because that will sell like hotcakes. That's going to be like the first auction I see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to resist just clicking buy now, even if it's more expensive,
Yeah.
I just hope it's not going to be as disappointing, because I have a feeling it's going to be slightly disappointing when we get the figure in hand.
It's going to be cross-eyed like my Rock figure.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be great. I mean, I think it will be good just to have him in a smaller scale, but yeah, the scale is shockingly bad. It makes no sense.
Why would they do that? That's not even movie master size. I'm very upset right now.
It's preview master size. That's what that is.
Preview master.
What's funny here is that obviously in the UK, the Movie Masters figures are starting to come out, like shock horror. The Movie Masters Man of Steel figures.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, obviously I've had them. I think I did my Superman review a year and a bit ago when I first got it. But yeah, they're starting to come out and they're cheap. They're like $5 in the stores.
So what we couldn't sell over here, we're just shipping them to you now.
Yeah, basically. So
I mean, we don't have any more here. You're just getting all of our crap.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's a store. It's called Home Bargains, and it's kind of like a Dollar General kind of store, And I was walking through it, and I'd heard someone mention that they were for sale, and I went around a corner, and it's just just to see all the Superman figures, and I must admit I did buy them. They were only, I've got them all, but they're all mint on package, and I figured I could even maybe do it as a giveaway on my channel or something at some point. That would be a good giveaway, like the entire Man of Steel, and it only cost like $35 for all of them.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so it was. I think there's only one missing. It's Shackle General Zod, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the only thing I picked up the 3 3/4. I have the 89 Batman. I have that actually upstairs to review. It's probably gonna be the next thing I have. And then the Arkham City Shock Glove Batman from the 3 3/4 line. So I said I wasn't gonna get any of those, but
Rob.
Yeah.
Mattel.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
$6.
Stop it.
Not bad. But I think I'm the only one at my Walmart buying them because there were still 5 on the peg when I got it, and there are still 5, now. So I'm done. I'm not buying any more from the wave. I wanted to pair one with the Robins that I have, and then I had Mr. Freeze. So I thought, well, I had to have Batman. So poor choice, I guess.
One of the things I wanted to mention, just really quick, I'll have to go in about maybe 5 minutes or so, but how cool was the Arkham Knight trailer? It was amazingly cool. It really did make me want to go out and buy an Xbox One tomorrow. And I must admit, I mean, I don't know if you guys watched that video where I edited the music video to it. And
that was good.
It was so much fun watching the footage, and there was a couple of things. I mean, I don't like the battle mode on the Batmobile. I think that it kind of goes again. Okay, I know that every Batmobile has had guns, and like the 89 Batmobile, but the fact that it has such a massive cannon and that it's got a specific battle mode and it drives sideways, and I'm not a huge fan of that. But I love the design. I love that they've built a 1-to-1 scale Batmobile as well. They actually built it full size, so I thought that was cool. But the footage looks brilliant. The city looks amazing. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
But yeah, I loved the footage. I thought it looked great.
Yeah, that makes me want to go buy an Xbox too. Also. Yeah.
I just love the idea that you kind of suit up as Batman, you go on the balcony, Wayne Tower, jump off, and you're flying, you press a button, you land, the Batmobile's right there. It really does make the city, you can
Very
go
Iron Man-like armor, though, when he's putting it on.
Yeah, that was one thing I wasn't a huge fan of, was that it was a bit too armoured. I understand why it's going to be like, but it's a bit, like the fact his chest goes on and it can all kind of flex.
Mm-hmm. Back in my day, Batman just wore a t-shirt. That's all he did.
Yeah. And something I think that was really cool out of the footage that at least the next gen systems, the CGI like movie sequences look exactly the same as the actual game footage.
That was
brilliant. So it'll be like
yeah.
So that looks great. It sucks that it's getting pushed back till 15, but from Lego Batman 3, so I'm still gonna pick up my PS4 and have a Batman game.
Lego Batman.
Yeah, this was a totally selfish Superman thing, but how cool was the new 52 Superman in Lego? I can't wait to pick up that one. That's the first time we've ever seen it. Was in that trailer with Batman in his bat suit in white.
I liked how the game designers were saying that they had free reign to choose between the new 52 and the old continuity. If they thought somebody looked better in the old continuity, they just used them, like Martian Manhunter, but kept Batman and Superman and New 52 and Wonder Woman, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I've never played any of the Lego Batman games, but I mean, they look really fun. They look... Yeah,
we played all
that one scene.
Star Wars, Harry Potter.
I played the Star Wars one. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, that's what got me started, was the Star Wars ones.
Same here.
I loved the scene where you were flying as Superman and it was the Richard Donner theme from the Superman the movie that was playing the entire time. That was a great touch. I never played it, but I saw the video. You know what I did do though? Really recently, I bought Injustice. It's been out for years. I just randomly saw it, and it was like £10, $15, and I thought, I'll get it. And I watched all the footage before on YouTube, but I played the game from start to finish one day at my work. It was a slow.
That work.
It was a slow.
Jobs too.
Yeah, I know. It's a family business. I had time. But I sat and played it, and I love the storyline of Injustice. I thought the footage was brilliant. Okay, that's an example of CGI not matching up with the gameplay footage, But
but still.
You know what's good is that it's really made me want to read the Injustice digital comics. I've got them all on my iPad. But I read like the first 10. I remember I did reviews of them for a while. I just kind of stopped, but I really can't wait to get back.
I'm still waiting for you finish.
Yeah, like episode 8 of like 50. Yeah, I'm way behind with that one.
But, I'm still waiting.
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Well, I'm gonna have to go, guys.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say.
I have to pee.
Well, we're out of time. Thanks for tuning into the Rogue Show. Again, it wouldn't be us without any technical difficulties. I want to thank Chapman Films, Automatica, some guy in a hat acting like a fool down there. ODC, that's me with his glasses. There he is. Mr. Chapman Films, thanks as always for being a part of this. We'll be back. I said we were going to do it every month. We're close to doing it every month, but we'll look at the next 4 books. Maybe we'll throw a 5th in there to kind of catch up. And I'm sure there'll be other stuff, DC News and Marvel, and all Rogue Show stuff that we talk about. Thanks for watching, everybody. In about a month's time. Bye.
Bye. Happy birthday, everybody.
I gotta pee. I gotta pee.